Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video, I am going to be trying to recreate another one of Taylor Xavier Crochet's beautiful creations. It's going to be another top, and I'm going to be using some very fine yarn, 100% cotton yarn. I don't know if you guys saw last week's. Definitely check it out. I was very impressed with it, and he's an incredible teacher. He speaks Portuguese, so I had to try to do my best to learn from just watching him. And then, as I said before, you can use the dub option, but I'm not confident that everything translates exactly. Just follow me. I'll do my best to get you to the finish line with this one, okay? Let's begin. Things you will need. As I said, I'm using some 100% cotton yarn. Each of these, so they come in a 2-pack. Each of these is 1.76 ounces, which is 50 grams, or 136 yards, which is 125 meters. I know I'm gonna definitely need 2. I might need the next 2. I might even need more than this. So just check the description box to see how many I end up ultimately using to complete this project. This yarn, believe it or not, is a little bit finer than the yarn I used in the last tutorial, and it calls for an even smaller size hook. So I'm going to be using a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook today. Now this is currently the smallest hook that I've used on this channel, but I like it. You also need a pair of scissors, a darning weaving tapestry needle to weave in those tails, of course, and then some stitch markers. All right, let's really begin. You guys are like, what is this mess? I just went in there and pulled it out because I prefer to pull my yarn from the inside. So just go into one of the sides and then pull the yarn out and find the tail. And then once you use up all this, then you'll be able to continue pulling from the inside and it won't be rolling all around, okay? Let me find the tail and then I will check back in. I won't make you endure this. Literally, like a couple of seconds later, I found the tail. All right, so the multiple for this project, I believe, is 12. So you're gonna need a multiple of 12 chains. That seems to be the magic number and what works. The thing is, okay, you know it's a multiple of 12, but you still don't know how many chains to chain out, right? Which multiple of 12, you might be thinking, Atreyu? Well, the way we figure that out is by measuring the circumference of like the chest area under the arms, okay? But take a tape measure, measure around the chest area because that's the part that protrudes out the most in most cases, unless you have a really big belly, but yeah. And so then whatever number you get, either in inches or in centimeters, you want to chain out the number of chains that get you closest to that measurement. But it has to be a multiple of 12. So for me, just like with the previous mesh shirt that I made, the tank top, I knew I was going for 38 inches. So I needed to, and that pattern had a multiple, I needed to chain out the multiple that was closest to get me to 38 inches. This one is the same thing. So basically I'm gonna keep chaining until I get to 38 inches, and then I'm gonna make sure it's a multiple of 12. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense, all right? So take my yarn, my little itty bitty yarn, and I create a slip knot by wrapping it around my finger, twist exchange, so thin you can barely see it. Wrap it around my finger again. Pull this one over that one and off the finger while lifting up on the loop that's on the finger, and then pull to tighten. All right, I'm gonna start you out with my first 12. So small, you can barely see it anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So now I'm going to chain out several more multiples of 12 until I get to my 38 inches. All right, I'll check back in and let you know what that is for me. See you there. So I have chained out 200. I've made 200 chains and now I've arrived at my 38 inches. However, 200 is not a multiple of 12, unfortunately. But fortunately, I only need to chain 4 more and I'll have a multiple of 12. So I have 200, so let's make these last 4. 201, 202, 203, and 204, okay? So 12 times 17 is 204, and I'm only four chains past the 38 inches, so it works out, okay? I chose the multiple that's closest to the number of chains that I needed to make to get to the circumference. Alrighty, so now I need to connect this long string of chains, okay? This long series of chains. Before I connect, I always like to make sure that they're all facing the correct side, okay? I want to see the fronts of the chains. So what I do is I just very carefully slide my hand through them to make sure they're not twisting. See how that tried to twist? So I'll go back to where it's straight and then make sure that it doesn't twist and that I see the face of the front side of my chains. It's trying to twist again, so I grab it like that and just take your time, but this is very important. You don't want it to twist up on you. See how it's trying to twist? So just fight it, get them all turned the correct way. Like that. I'm just taking my time. And with thinner yarn, it can be challenging, but not impossible by any means. Okay, and now I'm almost at the end. Alrighty, so now that I made sure that they're all facing the correct way, I want to slip stitch into this very first chain right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the chains on that side around my finger so that the front of the chains are wrapped around my finger, and then I'm going to take my crochet hook and I'm going to insert it from the back into the very first chain there, like that, okay? So front side, I see the faces, the front of the chain, and I entered my crochet hook from the back. Now I'm just going to slip stitch. So I'll take my working yarn and then I will yarn over and then pull all the way through. So through both loops, 1 and then through 2. So what I have is this, okay? Now I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, okay? And now we're going to begin our round 1, our first round. While you're crocheting this round, you guys, you also want to make sure that your series of chains, all these chains, they're not twisting on you. You want them to be going in the correct direction. And from this perspective, we should be looking at the backs of the chains. All right, so just want to mention that because it's very important, especially with, once again, thin yarn. You have to be mindful of twisting. You won't have to always do that. Once you get a few rounds, everything will kind of stabilize out. But initially, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to possible twisting. All right. Also, something else that I meant to mention before we move on in round 1 is that, say you don't have the person available, right, to measure the circumference of their chest. Something that you can do is just take say they wear a medium size shirt. You can lay the shirt flat down, right, and then measure it. You can measure the width, basically, from one side of the shirt to the other, under the arm area, right? And then double that number, and that's your number of inches. And then, so you would chain out the number of chains necessary to get you to that many inches or centimeters if you use the metric system. And then make sure that you chain out a multiple of 12. Okay, the multiple of 12 that's closest to that number. And then you would just do this. So that's another way, secondary way to get your sufficient number of chains made. All right, let's continue. All right, so that chain 3 that we made counts as one of the 7 double crochet that will be in a group. Okay, so we have 1 double crochet made by making that chain 3, and now we're going to make 6 more double crochet, 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches. It might be weird for those of you who are not used to working in the backs of chains, but I like to think about the back of the chains as Godzilla's back and those little notches. Okay, so this was the first chain and we slip stitched in there and chained up, so that's occupied. Then you see this little Godzilla notch on the back, right? If you go just to the left there, in there, that is the very next chain. Okay, so that's where we're going to put a double crochet. So I'll yarn over to make a double crochet, and then there's the notch, go to the left, and then slice the icing off the top of the cake like that. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, and then yarn over again and go through 2, 1 and 2. So that's 1, and now I'm going to keep doing this. So here's the next one. There's a little notch, go a little bit to the left, and then you're in the chain. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over. There's the next notch. There's the chain, a little bit to the left. Insert your crochet hook like that. Yarn over, pull through to the front. 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Right now I have made 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a total of 7, so I'm going to keep going. Yarn over. Here's the next one. Insert your crochet hook. Yarn over, pull through to the front. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over. Here's the next one. Insert your crochet hook. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1 more to make so that I have a group of 7. Yarn over. There it is. Insert your crochet hook. Yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. So when I include that chain 3, I have a total of 7 stitches in this grouping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to change up the pattern a little bit by, pull this out of the way so it focuses on what I want it to focus on. So I'm going to chain 1, yarn over to prepare. Here's the next one, skip it and go into the one thereafter and put a double crochet. Okay, so I want to create a little space between that grouping of 7. See that little gap there? That's what I want. I'm going to do it again. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the next one, go in the one thereafter, and make another double crochet. Now I have 2 spaces. I have 2 gaps, one right there and one right there. I'm going to do it one more time. Yarn over, chain 1. Whenever I chain 1, I know I have to skip 1 below. Yarn over to prepare. Here's the next one. Skip 1, go into the one thereafter, and make a double crochet. And with that double crochet there, I start my grouping of 7 again. So this will be the first double crochet of these 7. So I have the grouping of 7. I have chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and now I'm about to have my 7 double crochet. I only have 1 right now of the 7. So I go to the next stitch and make a double crochet. So that's 2. Next stitch, make a double crochet. That's 3. Next stitch, make a double crochet. 4. Next stitch, make a double crochet. That's 5. Next stitch, make a double crochet. That's 6. Next stitch, make a double crochet. And that's 7. Okay? And I just repeat that pattern. So group of 7 and then 3 gaps. 1, 2, 3. Group of 7, and now I start to create those 3 gaps. So chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the next one, go in the one thereafter, and make a double crochet. That's the first gap. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the one thereafter, make a double crochet. That's the second gap. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the one thereafter, make a double crochet, and that's my third gap. 1, 2, 3. And now this double crochet is the first of the 7. So we're just going to the next 6 stitches and put a double crochet so that I have a total of 7 double crochet in the group. And that's pretty much the pattern, okay, for this first round. So it's very easy. Okay, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. All right, so I'm going to continue in this fashion, and then I will meet you once we start to get closer to the end. Enjoy. All right, so I have just completed the first round, and before I connect it there by slip stitching into the third chain up, I made sure that as I went all the way around, well, we can split it in half, right? Like this. Down here are all of the bottoms of the stitches. And then up here are all the tops of the stitches, okay? And they're able to lay flat from one end right on top of each other to the other end, okay? That's very important. So I'm going to take this out and show you what I did. All right, so as I pull this out, pull it out till I get to the 7th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then to finish this row, or this round, see how this could twist like that? And then I could go all the way like that. And even though the top matches the top there, what happens further down? See how it twists? So that's why it's very important to make sure that before you connect, before you slip stitch, that everything is as it should be. Tops with tops, bottoms with bottoms, and there's no twisting at either end, okay? All right, so this is good. So I'm just gonna continue finishing out this row. So I made my 7, now I chain 1, skip 1, go into the one thereafter, double crochet, chain 1, yarn over, skip 1, go into the one thereafter. And when I do that, there's one more chain, which to me makes sense because I need to chain one more like that. And then that takes me back to the first of the next set of 7 stitches. So I just slip stitch into the 1, 2, 3, the third stitch up like that. And then the pattern is seamless, right? In Taylor Xavier's tutorial, what I noticed is that his ends with 6 consecutive double crochet. So it's not even 7, it's 6. And then it looks like there's an extra chain there. So it kind of seems to buckle a little bit. I don't know what's going on. And I don't know what multiple he used, because he listed 2 multiples for 2 different sizes in his description. So he listed 2 different number of chains. I think it was like 243 and then 253 to get a certain number of centimeters. Those are different sizes, I guess. But in the video, in English version and the dub version, he said he chained 247. So I don't know, but using this multiple of 12, which seems to make sense and work, the pattern continues. In his pattern, it's like you have the 3 spaces and then you have 6 double crochet, and then you connect to the chain 3, right? But this one, it seems like this is correct, because you have 3 spaces, group 7, 3 spaces, and then at the beginning, group 7, 3 spaces, group 7. So I don't know what's right, but this makes sense to me in terms of just how patterns have worked for me. So this is what I'm going to go with, okay? So multiple of 12, and then according to my pattern, like I said, this is where I differ from Taylor Xavier. We're going to end with the 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to chain 1 and then slip stitch into the 3rd chain up, all right? All right, round 2. All right, so we're going to start round 2 now. So I'm going to take out this stitch marker that I like to put in there just to prevent it from unraveling accidentally. And as with the previous round, I'm going to start by chaining 3. So 1, 2, 3. So the first block of round 2 is going to be a block of only 5 stitches, and it's going to include that chain 3. So we have 1 of the 5, and we're going to put a double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So I'll yarn over. Here's the next stitch, slice the icing off the top of the cake and make the double crochet. So that's 2. Next stitch is there. That's 3. Next stitch is there. 4. 1 more. Yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake of the next stitch, and that's my 5. So this block is composed of 5 stitches. I didn't say 5 double crochet because I'm counting that chain 3, which is acting like a double crochet, but it's not a true double crochet. So I have 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to start that chain 1, skip 1 pattern to create the gaps, okay? And this, you guys, is going to stagger these gaps in this row. We're starting them earlier, right? In the first round, I said row, I meant round. The first round, they started a little bit later. In the second round, they're starting a little bit earlier. So I want to chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the next stitch, and go into the one thereafter and make my double crochet. That's the first gap. I have 2 more to make. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, and put a double crochet in the next stitch, which happens to be a double crochet. That creates my second gap. 1 more. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the next stitch, which is that chain 1 space, and go into the next stitch, which is a double crochet. I'm just making that double crochet stack and get on top. And just like in the previous round, with that 3rd double crochet after the 3rd gap, 1, 2, 3, and then there's the 3rd double crochet. Now I start my block again. And guess what? The block is going to be a block of 7. So I only do a block of 5 in the beginning to stagger us. And now that we're sufficiently staggered, now we can go back to the block of 7. So this is the first double crochet of the 7. So I yarn over. The next stitch is this chain 1 space. So I'm just going to go in there and put a double crochet in the chain 1 space. Then the next stitch is the double crochet below. So I go in there, make a double crochet. So right now I have 3 of the 7 double crochet that I need to make to complete this block. So I have 4 more to go. So I'm just going to Continue making my double crochet. 4, next stitch, 5, next stitch, 6, final stitch, 7. And now I have my block of 7. And now I start the chain 1, skip 1 pattern. And I am still going to be staggered. So I chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, and in that next double crochet I put a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, and go in the next double crochet, put a double crochet, chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, which is that chain 1 space, and go into the next stitch, which is that double crochet, and put a double crochet. And now remember, this is the double crochet after the third gap, 1, 2, 3. So since it's that double crochet, this will be counted as part of the 7. Don't forget that the next stitch in this case is the chain 1 space. So don't forget to go in there and put a double crochet before you get to this double crochet. Okay, so you'll continue repeating this pattern on around, and just notice that those gaps, those 3 consecutive gaps, should be staggered in round 2. And I'll meet you as we get closer to the end of this round. Enjoy. All right, so I just completed a block of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I'm going to chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next one. Like that. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next one. And right now I've created 2 blocks, 1, 2. I'm going to chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next one. And now it's time to start the block again, the next block. We only have 1 space there, so we're just going to put a double crochet in that final chain 1 space. So the block at the end of this round is only composed of 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Okay, but we have our 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3. And you can see that these blocks are staggered with those down there. It started earlier. All right, so now we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain up of that chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, insert, yarn over, pull all the way through. And now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 to begin round 3. So during our first round, we started with 7 stitches in the block at the beginning of the round. Then in our second round, we started with 5 stitches in the block. This round, we're going to start with 3. So as you guys know, the chain 3 that I just made counts as a stitch. So we have 2 more stitches to make to complete this block. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, the actual first double crochet that I'm getting to. And I'm going to put a double crochet. So that's 2 stitches, and then go into the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and make a double crochet. 3. The reason that we went 7, then 5, and 3 is because we're trying to stagger these gaps, the 3 gaps that we make. So at this point, we're going to chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next stitch and put a double crochet, and that creates our first gap. And notice it starts earlier than that gap, which starts earlier than that gap, so they're staggered. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, and go into the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake. All right, now we have 2 gaps, 1, 2. We need 1 more. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the next gap, and slice the icing off the top of the cake in the next stitch, and make the 3rd double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, right? But remember that 3rd double crochet is counted towards our block of 7 double crochet. So that's 1. Now it's time to create another block. And remember, we only alternate or only change the number of blocks at the beginning of each round, right? But now it's time to go back to the normal 7 double crochet, which make up a block. So that's the first one. And then I go in here in the chain 1 space, that's 2. Next stitch, slice and icing. 3. Next stitch. 4. Next stitch. 5. Next stitch. 6. Next stitch. 7. So I have my block of 7 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I just repeat the pattern. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and the next one, put a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, in the next one, put a double crochet. That's the 3rd double crochet. I have my 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and now I begin my next block. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So just keep repeating the pattern using the 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, and the block of 7 double crochet, and I'll meet you back there. Have fun. So I am almost done with round 1, 2, 3. I just finished a block of 7, so I wanted to pop back on to show you how I complete this round. So now I chain 1, skip 1, make a double crochet. I chain 1, skip 1, and then the one thereafter, make a double crochet. Now I have my 2 blocks, 1, 2, and now I chain 1, skip 1, and then the next one, I make that 3rd double crochet. And now I have my 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3. But I still have some stitches there, so in these 1, 2, and 3 stitches, I'm going to put just double crochets. So I'm going to go back to the block. So I'm going to have a block of 4. So I have 1 already made. The next stitch is that chain 1 space, so I make a double crochet. The next stitch is the double crochet, so I make a double crochet, and then in that final stitch right there, I put a double crochet. Okay, and so you see these blocks are staggered. So now I'm back to the chain 3. So I slip stitch into the 3rd chain up, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over and pull all the way through. So remember the pattern that we've been using to begin every round. I started with 7 for round 1. Round 2 I started with 5. Round 3 I started with 3. So can you imagine that round 4 is going to start with what? That's correct, 1. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So we have our 1 made. So now we're going to go to the gap pattern. So we're going to chain 1 to create the chain 1 space, yarn over, skip the next one, go in the one right after, and make a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, go in the one right after, make a double crochet. Right now we have 2 gaps, 1, 2. Remember we need 3. So continue, chain 1, skip 1, go in the next stitch, which is a double crochet, and make a double crochet. Now we have our 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, and now it's time to start the block. Remember the blocks throughout the round, excluding that first block, or excluding the block at the beginning of the round, are always composed of 7 double crochet. So that 3rd crochet, 1, 2, 3, of those stitches with the 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, this double crochet right there always counts as part of one of the 7 double crochet that form the block. So we have 1. So in the chain 1 space is 2, and the next double crochet is 3, and the next double crochet is 4, and the next double crochet is 5, and the next double crochet is 6, and then the next double crochet is 7. And there's our block of 7. And now we start the 3 gap pattern. So chain 1, skip 1, go into the next stitch and make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, go into the next one, which is the double crochet, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and make your double crochet. That's the 3rd one. So first gap, second gap, 3rd gap, and then that double crochet counts as one of the 7 to form the next block. So then we just make our double crochets. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like that. And then we start the pattern again. And I want you to pay attention to how these 3 gap sequences are staggered, okay? So they're staggered all the way around. By the way, at this point, and probably a couple of rounds ago, you should have no longer had to worry about your work twisting. It's pretty much just after that first round. Once you complete the first round, you're in the safe zone, okay? So continue this pattern and I'll meet you towards the end of round 4. By the way, that's the round that we're on. See you there. So I am almost done with round 4. I just got my 3 gaps made, 1, 2, 3. And you guys know that 3rd double crochet starts the block, the next block. So that's 1. Here's the next stitch in the chain 1 space. That's 2. Next stitch is the double crochet. 3. Next stitch, double crochet. 4. Next stitch, double crochet. 5. And then one more stitch, double crochet. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm almost back to my 7. All right. So right here, remember I began with that chain 4. I'm going to slip stitch in the 3rd chain up. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to leave that 4th chain there to create the chain 1 space there. Okay. Now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so remember these 3 gaps in each row should be staggered. So they've basically made their way all the way there. So now I want to go the other way. So basically I want to have it so that this row only has 2 gaps and then I start my chain 7. So the way that I do that is I chain a 4th chain. So I have my chain 3 that counts as a stitch. I'll chain 1 more, so I have a chain 4 total. And then I'm going to create a gap. So I'll yarn over, skip the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space there, and go into the next stitch by slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and I make that double crochet. So that's 1 gap that's made. Sorry that the yarn is similar to my skin color. All right, chain 1 again, yarn over, skip 1, which is the next, chain 1 space, and go into the next stitch, which is that double crochet, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and then make your double crochet. So now that I have my 2 gaps, 1, 2, I'm going to start making my block, which remember is composed of 7 double crochet. And remember that 3rd double crochet, you might be like thinking, I only see 2 double crochet. Well, remember those first 3 chains count as a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, that 3rd double crochet is part of the 7. So when we count in that chain 1, that's the 2nd of the 7. Okay, next stitch is 3, next stitch is 4, next stitch is 5, next stitch is 6, and then next stitch, always slicing the icing off the top of the cake, is 7. All right, so there are 7 double crochet, and then we start the 3 gap pattern again. So chain 1, yarn over, skip 1, go into the next one, make your double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is that chain 1 space, go into the double crochet right after that, make another one, chain 1, skip 1, which is that next, chain 1 space, go into the next stitch right after, which is the double crochet, and there's your 3rd double crochet in that 1, 2, 3 gap pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 3rd double crochet. Because it's the 3rd double crochet, it counts as part of the next block. So when I crochet in the next stitch, which is that chain 1 space, then I count it towards the double crochet in the block. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then it's time to start the 3 gap pattern again. Like that. Okay, so this is what you're gonna have. And you see, it's still staggered like that. Those 3 gaps. It's beautiful, isn't it? All right, continue working this pattern all the way around, making the 3 gap series followed by the 7 double crochet block, and I'll meet you once we get towards the end of this one. All right, so I'm almost done with round 5. I have my 3 gap, 1, 2, 3 gaps there, and then starting with that 3rd of these 3 of the 3rd double crochet, I start counting. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm gonna keep going until I get to 7, 6. Next stitch is 7. All right. Now I still need to get to that chain 3, but I have a stitch, so I start the gap. So chain 1, skip 1, and then in the 3rd chain up of this chain 4, I'll slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and then just yarn over and pull all the way through. All right, so what you're gonna notice is that everything is going in that direction. So starting in round 1, we have the 3 gaps, and then they've shifted over to the right in the next round, even more to the right in the next round. And then you might be thinking, well, this is where the beginning of this round is. There's a gap there, 1, 2, 3. So what's going to happen? But it crosses that barrier between the beginning of a round and the end of a round. So I still am able to maintain my 3 gaps. 1, 2, 3. Isn't that cool? All right, so this is going to be the final round, and then we're going to repeat what we've done. So we start out by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, and we want a chain 1 space, so we're going to chain another one, so we'll chain 4. Sorry, it's a little windy today, so the wind chimes are going. All right, so now we're going to create a gap by putting a double crochet. So we skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, and put a double crochet in that double crochet. Like that, and there's our gap. Now we're gonna start our 7 double crochet, and this is one of the 7, so you already have 1. So in the chain 1 space is 2, next stitch is 3, next stitch is 4, next stitch is 5, next stitch is 6, next stitch is 7. And now it's time to go to the 3 gaps, right, that we create. And once you see that you're you're at the third stitch away from the end of the previous block of the previous round, you know you're set up correctly, because you know what comes next is just the chain one, skip one, and then that final double crochet of that block, you put a double crochet. So that's the first one. I chain one, skip one, put a double crochet in that one. That's the second one. Chain one, skip one, go into the next stitch and put the third one, but remember the third one always counts as the first stitch of the 7 double crochet block. So now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that should be the third double crochet away, right? Yep, 1, 2, 3. So perfect. And now I'll be set up to start to create my next 3 gap system. Okay, so continue in this fashion all the way around, and I will meet you once we get a little bit closer to the end of round 6. Enjoy. So I am almost at the end of this final repeat round, round 6. I just completed my 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3. So now I start counting 7, up to 7 with that one counting as the first one. 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5, next stitch 6, next stitch 7. Now that I have my 7 double crochet block, and what I like to do to get a quick glance is cover the first 3, and if I see 4, automatically I know I counted correctly. That's my 7. So now I still have some stitches left over, so I go to the other pattern, chain 1, skip 1, go to the next stitch, which is a double crochet, and I put a double crochet. So that's the first block of the 3 blocks or gaps, right? This is the first gap of the 3 gaps, right? And then I chain 1. I have a chain 1 space, so I skip it, and then that takes me to this chain 4. And once again, I'm going to slip stitch into the third chain up, 1, 2, 3 of that chain 4. And that creates the second gap. So 1, 2, and then on the other side is 3. And so the 3 gaps continue. They just get slightly shifted to the right. So now I chain 3 to start round 7. 1, 2, 3. And round 7 is identical to our very first round. So let me go through one iteration with you. So I've chained 3. That takes me to a chain 1 space. So I'm going to go in there and put a double crochet. That chain 3, just in case you might have forgotten, counts as a double crochet. It's the first of the 7 stitches that we're going to be making to form this block. So 1, and then the double crochet that I made is 2. Next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, next stitch, 6, next stitch, 7. So I have my 7 stitch block, just like I did down here in round 1. Okay, and then what comes next? Oh, I got to start making those gaps. And remember, I told you to look, if you're in the third double crochet away from the block in the previous round, so 1, 2, 3, then you're in the right place to start the gaps. So I chain 1, skip 1, go on the next one, and make a double crochet without splitting your yarn. That will happen sometimes. All right, that's the first gap. Chain 1. Oof, my yarn is still, I didn't get it right, so I'm going to go back and tear it out and do it correctly, because I am a perfectionist. So now there's my first gap. Chain 1, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, go on the next stitch, make a double crochet to create the second gap, 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, skip one, which is the chain one space, go in the next stitch, which is a double crochet, and put a double crochet. Now we have our 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, and now we start our next block of 7. Remember that third double crochet counts as the first of the 7 stitches. So 2, 3, 4, splitting again, so I'm going to take it out, make sure I get it right. Okay, 5, 6, and 7. And now I have another block. I cover the first 3, I see 4 left, so I've counted 7. I'm also at the third double crochet from the end of the previous round's block, so I know it's time to start the gap. Okay, and you're just going to repeat this pattern for this round and then repeat the other rounds, and then until we get to, well, I'll talk about that a little bit later. So finish this round and then I'll check back in at that point. All right, and look how nice and neatly it comes out of the center. I love that option. All right guys, I'll check back in a little bit. Enjoy. So I have finished round 7. I ended with the 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3. So it's just a chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Try that again. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Let's try that again. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then I slip stitch to the third chain up of the chain 3. Okay, so now to start the next round, round 8, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yes, of course I chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then remember, this is the round where I start out with 5 double crochet and then I go into that 3 gap, 7 or block of 7 double crochet pattern. Okay, and if you forget, just go back to round 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I start the 3 gap pattern and then the 7 double crochet that make up the block. Okay, so that's 1 of the 5. Next stitch gets a double crochet. That's 2. Next stitch gets the 3. Next stitch gets the 4. Next stitch gets the 5, and now I start the 3 gap pattern. And remember, whenever you're about to start the 3 gap pattern, you should ask yourself, am I at the 3rd crochet away from the end of the block in the previous round? So here's the block in the previous round. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I'm at the 3rd, so it's going to work out. So I chain 1, skip 1, and go in there. Okay, so I'm going to stop at that point. You guys know what to do. As I said, just repeat rounds 1 through 6 over and over and over until you get to your desired depth, okay, or length, however you want to look at it. And basically you want to crochet this so that the height, I've just referred to it as like 3 different measurements, type of measurements. I guess it depends on how you're looking at it. So it can be the height of the shirt, the depth of the shirt, or the length, right? But you want to basically do this until you get to the armpits. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to crochet enough rounds. I'm going to repeat this pattern for rounds 1 through 6 until I get to approximately 17 inches. I think it's like around 43 centimeters. And then I'm going to move on to the next phase of this shirt. So I think I will try this week to, I'll try and separate the video so that you have something, especially since this part is going to take you a while to do, so that you're just not waiting weeks and weeks and weeks for me to finish this whole shirt, and we can work on it together. Okay, so yeah, I'll check back in one more time and then we'll end this video, and the next video will be a continuation from that point on. Okay, all right guys, enjoy. So I am checking back in one more time as promised, but I decided that it'd be better to use this final check-in to show you how to start a new ball of yarn, because I ran out of the first one. Okay, so what I do, I overlap them. This is the new one. Get it more in the frame. This is the new one, the one that I'm transferring to, and obviously this is the one that I'm at the end of. So I'm going to tie this strand to, very important, this strand to this yarn here. Okay, so I'm holding the new ball as I'm tying it to the former. Okay, and now you guys, I'm going to tie the former strand, the one that's from the first ball, to the new yarn. So now in both fingers, in both hands, I'm holding the former strand or the former yarn, and I'm tying it to the new yarn. And now I'll pull like that, and then I will cut these strands, the excess, off like that. And now that's how you connect. Okay, very easy. All right, so now I'm ready to end this video and yeah, set you free and let you just work on establishing whatever height you're going to arrive at. For me, as I said, it's going to be about 17 inches. Okay, so in next week's video, I will come back with that much height and we'll proceed to the next step. Get to crocheting, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. All right, you guys, welcome back. We are now entering part 2 of this crochet top series. I don't know how many parts they're gonna be. It took me a while to get all this made, so I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to upload this when you guys are receiving it, but I think I'm going to have enough time to do it. So I have crocheted out several rounds, which got me to 17 inches, which is about 43 centimeters for those of you who use the metric system. And so now we're gonna move on to the next part where we start to get, you know, under the arms, and where we start to, just like with the previous crochet top tutorial, you remember the vest, the tank top, well, we start to no longer work in, that's weird, right? We start to no longer, I could just say, where we no longer work in rounds, but instead we divide this piece up into halves, and we establish the front of the piece and the back of the piece. So that's what we're gonna start doing today. Let's begin. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is turn it so that you are basically at you just connected the final round that you just completed, and you're at the where you would put the chain 3, right? You guys know I like to use my stitch marker there to hold the stitch so that it does not unravel when I'm not working with it and I need to move it. So I'll take this out now. Let me put in my crochet hook. All right, like that. So you see I've slip stitched to the third chain up of that chain 4. And to get me to my desired depth, length, height, remember, however you want to see it, I ended on the round where 2 of those 3 gaps, 1, 2, are at the end of that final round, and the other gap, the third gap, begins the round. It doesn't matter. You might be wondering, and I know I was before I progressed further in Taylor Xavier's video, I was wondering, is it gonna matter what round we end on? Because surely we're all gonna end on different rounds, but it turns out it does not matter. All right, so now what I want you to do is, in this same place where you slip stitched, or where you connect it, okay, basically in that chain 3, we're gonna put a stitch marker there. So I'm gonna put a stitch marker right in that chain 3, like that. And then because I still have yarn attached, I am going to put a stitch marker on it. Just put a pink one on it, on that loop, so I don't lose it. Okay, so this is what I have. I've just connected. I'm at the end of the round. I put a stitch marker in that chain 3 where I slip stitched. And now I'm going to put this, make this the right corner, fold it in half like that. See how it's in half at that point where the stitch marker is? And I'm going to turn this so that the other half, so here's one half, is over here in this corner. And you can probably believe that on this side I'm going to add another stitch marker. So let's see what's over in this corner. If I do that, I say, okay, there's my grouping of 7. So I know that I want to end this row, because it will be a row now since we're no longer working on rounds. I want to end the row with only 3 double crochet. So I have these 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, and then that's where I want to end with those, using those 3 double crochet. So I'm going to split the 3 from the 4 that make up the total 7, and I'm just going to put a stitch marker in that gap. And so when I am working my way over to the red stitch marker, I'll remember, okay, those are the final 3 double crochet that I'm going to work into. All right, so that's that half. So this is what you have, okay? One corner is where we start the row, and the other corner is where we end it, and then we're going to turn our work and make our way back this way. Let's begin. So zoom in here. I'll find my loop, which is where the pink stitch marker is. There it is. Okay. I'll take that out, insert my crochet hook into the loop, and then pull. All right, so I'm going to start it like I've started all the other rounds. This row is going to start with a chain 3, which will count as a double crochet. Okay, so I'm at the chain 3. When I chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That chain 3, as I just said, will count as a double crochet. And basically what I want to do is double crochet 3 together. The way that I do that is I find the next stitch and I start a double crochet. So here's the next stitch, it's that chain 1 space. So I'm going to yarn over, go in there, yarn over, pull through to the front for the 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, and pause. Now I'm going to start another double crochet in the next stitch, which is there, right there on the end. See it there? So yarn over, here's the next one, slice the icing off the top of the cake, and then yarn over, pull through to the front. Now I'm going to have 4 loops. I'm going to yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, and that will leave me with 3 loops. And now I yarn over and go through 3. 1, 2, 3. And now I've decreased. So we're going to do 4 consecutive decrease rows. All right. All right. So now we're basically going to continue to adhere to the pattern. All right. So we have this block of stitches, which we want to work into, but we also want to maintain the 3 gap, 1, 2, 3 gap, and the solid block pattern that we've been making all along. So let's do that. So the next stitch, we'll get a double crochet. Okay. The next stitch will get a double crochet. The next stitch will get a double crochet. The next stitch will get a double crochet. Okay, so basically I've made 5 stitches. That DC3 together there with the chain 3 and those 2 double crochet, that's 1 stitch. All right, All that belongs to that one top right there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? And you see that takes me to the third stitch away from the end of the previous block. So we know at this point we want to chain 1 to create a gap, skip 1 and go on the one thereafter and make a double crochet. And then at this point everything's just normal till you get to the other side. So chain 1, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, go into the next stitch and make a double crochet. Now we have 2 gaps. 1, 2. We need one more. Chain 1, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, in the next double crochet, make a double crochet. And now we start with our 7. So next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, it gets the 7. It gets the second of the 7. So remember that 3, remember it's the 1, 2, 3, that becomes the 1 now when we start the next block. So 1, 2, 3, I'm sure you guys know this very well by now after getting to this point. 4, 5, 6, and I'm just slicing the icing off the top of the cake like that. 7. That should put me in the third stitch away down here. So 1, 2, 3, it does. And now I know I just started my 3 gaps again. Chain 1, skip 1, next one gets a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, next one gets a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, next one gets a double crochet. Okay, so that's the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then that 3 becomes a 1 because it's the 1 of the block of 7. So 1, the chain 1 space is 2, next stitch is 3, next stitch is 4, next stitch is 5, next stitch is 6, next stitch is 7, and once again that should put me in the third stitch away in the block below. 1, 2, 3, and it does. Okay, so you're going to continue with this pattern. It's a pattern that you're very familiar with until we get to the other side, and I'll show you. Remember, symmetry is everything in crochet, I always say. So we started with a double crochet 3 together, counting that chain 3, and we're going to end with a double crochet 3 together, which is why I reserved those 3 stitches on the end. Okay, I'll see you there. Alrighty, I am nearing the end. How do I know? There's that red stitch marker. And I'm just following the pattern. So I've created 2 blocks. 1, 2. I need to create one more. So I'll chain 1, skip 1, and put double crochet, which is the third one. 1, 2, 3. And then that's going to become the 1, right, of the next block. 1, 2, 3. So I have my 3 blocks. So in this chain 1 space, I am going to put a double crochet. So that's 2. All right, and now I am going to decrease over these final 3 stitches. And what that's going to look like is, in this one, I'm going to start a double crochet, yarn over, go through 2, pause, yarn over, go into the next stitch, start a double crochet. I have 4 loops now, yarn over, go through the first 2, pause, then yarn over, go into the next stitch, start a double crochet. I have 5 loops, yarn over, go through the first 2, and I have 4 loops, yarn over, go through all 4 loops. All right, and I've decreased. And you see now the slant. All right, so guess what? We're gonna turn our work. Yes, why? Because we're working in rows. I keep telling you guys, we're working in rows now, not rounds. That means we have to turn our work. So now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to turn my work like this. Okay, so we still want to maintain this 3 gap and block, solid block pattern. It becomes not really complicated, but maybe a little bit complicated because we've never turned our work. So it's like, okay, what do we have to do to maintain this pattern? So if you look at the previous rounds in this case, the gaps, let's focus on the gaps, 1, 2, 3, they're going that way. So with each successive back here round, the gap was from this perspective 1 over to the left, right? We have the 3 here, and then it shifted over to the left 1, and then here shifted over to the left 1, and up there shifted over to the left 1. All right, so we want to continue that pattern. So here is our first gap. We have 1, 2, 3. We want a gap to be here, which means we're going to have to start a gap later. All right, so what does that look like? Well, this is what you need to do. It's not hard. So this chain 3 counts for all that, which has this one top, and that's the DC 3 together. Okay, so that's taken care of. We go into the next stitch, which is here, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and we make a double crochet. Then we go into the next stitch, which is right next to it, and we make a double crochet. And then that takes us to this gap right there, and we're going to crochet into that because we don't want a gap to start there. This should still be solid because the gaps will start at this point, not this point. So we'll go into that gap, into that chain 1 space, and we'll put a double crochet as well. Then we'll get to the double crochet and we'll slice the icing off the top of the cake and make a double crochet like that. So you see we've continued to decrease. The slant continues, okay? And now we will start our 3 gap pattern. So to create a gap, we know we chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, and then the double crochet, the next stitch, we slice the icing on top of the cake and we make a double crochet. And there's our first gap. Now we need 2 more gaps. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, which is the next chain 1 space, and go into the next stitch, which is there. Slice the icing off the top of the cake and make a double crochet. All right, we have 2 gaps, 1, 2. Now remember, we said, or I said, you want this 3rd gap, the one that's farthest to the left here, you want it to be shifted over. So this is what's different now. We chain 1, yarn over to prepare, we skip 1, which is not a chain 1 space, but we do it anyway. And then we go into the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake and make a double crochet. And now we have our 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3. That stitch, which is 3, the 3rd double crochet, will begin the 1, or will be the 1 of our 7 double crochet block. So now that we know that what was the 1, 2, 3 double crochet in that block section, we've re-emphasized that that is now the 1 of, or that, sorry, the gap section. And so we've re-emphasized that that 3rd double crochet is the 1 of the solid block section, the 1 of the 7, then we just continue counting. So we have 1, next stitch, slicing the icing, this is 2. Next stitch, which is there, is 3. Next stitch, which is there, is 4. Next stitch, which is there, is 5. We have 2 more to make. This is also different. The 6 goes in this chain 1 space, which makes sense because everything is shifted to the left. And then the 7 goes into the double crochet there. So what we have is our 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, followed by the block of 7 double crochet. And now we start the 3 gap section again. So chain 1, skip one, which is a chain one space, go on the next one, make a double crochet, chain one, skip one, which is the next gap below, go on to the next one, make a double crochet, chain one, skip one, which is an actual double crochet, go on to the next one and make a double crochet. And we have our 3 gaps. So when you put this down, you see everything is continuing to go in that direction. So the pattern, although we're working on the back side, the pattern is being maintained, okay? So continue in this fashion all the way across, and I'll show you how to end this row. We'll start the next one, the 3rd decreased row of 4. Okay, so I am at the end. I have created my 2 gaps, and you know, your end might be slightly different because you might have ended on a different final round before starting the rows, but the theory behind this is basically the same, okay? You want to continue the pattern, okay? So I have 2 gaps. I have 1 more gap to make. So I chain 1, and then I see I'm getting to the end. So I yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next one, and I start a double crochet. Why? Because I only have 2 stitches left, 1, 2. All that is under that top, right? So I want to start my DC 3 together. I want to start my decrease now, basically. So I'm going to get that 3rd gap automatically because I chained 1 and I skipped 1. I skipped that stitch. But now it's time to continue decreasing so that the slat continues in that direction. So I started double crochet in that one, then I'll pause, yarn over, go into the next one, the second to last one, slicing the icing off the top of the cake. Start another double crochet by yarning over, going through 2, pause, yarn over, and then go into the final stitch, finding that top, slicing the icing off the top of the cake of all that body below. Yarn over, pull through to the front. I have 5 loops. I'll yarn over, go through the first 2. 1, 2. That leaves me with 4. I'll yarn over and go through all 4 like that. And now you see the slat continues. Now I'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And because I'm working in rows, I'm going to turn my work again. And this is what we have. All right, so we have our work turned. It's time to go back in the other direction. And you always want to analyze the pattern, like which way are the blocks going? Well, the blocks, I keep saying blocks, well, I guess you can look at the blocks too, but the gaps are a little bit more easy, a little bit easier to see. The gaps are going this way, okay? So we're at the corner, and if they're going this way, that means that in this next row, we should lose a block. So that tells me that we're already going to crochet into this block. Not because we want to put a block over here, because you see they're not going that way, they're going that way, but because everything is shifting to the right. So at some point, that 3rd block is no longer there and everything shifts, okay? So when we fill that in, you might be wondering, well, we're on the edge and we've been decreasing, right? This is a decrease row. We want to continue that slant. So here's how we're going to do it. So we make the chain 3, which counts for all of that DC 3 together that we made in the previous row. So we want to start a double crochet in the next stitch, which is the gap. So yarn over, go in there, yarn over, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, pause. And then we're going to go into this double crochet and start another double crochet. Slicing the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front for 4 loops, yarn over, go through 2, and then yarn over, go through 3, like that. And the slat continues. So this DC 3 together, and I say 3, but counting the chain 3 there, 1, 2, 3, is over that, okay? So that takes us to this gap, which we will maintain. We'll put another gap on top. As you guys know, as you guys well know, to create a gap, we chain 1, and then skip one, go into the next one, and then we put a double crochet. And that creates a gap. And then we have this third gap, 1, 2, 3, the third gap there, which is the one that we normally start to crochet our 7 double crochet into, right? Technically, that would normally be the third double crochet, but remember that turns into the 1 when we start the 7. So I say all of that. If that was confusing, just follow what I do. If you're in a similar location as me, is count that double crochet we just made as 1 in this gap, and that chain 1 space is 2, and then in the next 5 we'll get to 7. That's 3. Next one, slice and ice on top of the cake, 4. Next one, 5. Next one, 6. Next one, 7. This is what you already know. That 7th double crochet should be in the third 1, 2, 3 double crochet in the block below from the end, which it is. And then we just start our pattern again. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the next one, put a double crochet. And then this is right because our gaps, it started sooner in this row as it should have because the slant is going in that direction, right? And then, so that's 1 gap, chain 1, skip 1, go in the next one. That's 2, chain 1, skip 1, on the next one, and that's 3. And then you get that 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3. That third double crochet there starts the block, so that's 1, and then this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, and remember 7 should be in the third double crochet away from the end in the previous row's block, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's the 1, 2, 3, third from the end. And then we just start the 3 gap system again, okay? So you'll see that the pattern is still continuing. The pattern, because we are decreasing, got truncated on the end, and there's only 1 gap there, basically. So here, it's these 3, 1, 2, 3. This one right there is basically that one, right? This got truncated. These 2 basically got truncated because we cut it off, okay? And as I said, depending on which round you ended, yours could be different, but I'm trying to show you how to think about it. Remember, your goals for these 4 rows, your goals, you have 2 goals. One is to maintain the pattern, and the second goal is to decrease on both edges, okay? So think about what you need to think about to make that happen while maintaining the pattern, okay? All right, I'm going to continue across and I'll meet you at the other end. See you there. Alrighty, as you can see, I am at the other end. I've created my 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3. So now it's time to fill it in. And I want to decrease 3 together. So I want it to be symmetrical, okay? So I see that here's the decrease 3 together. Well, so I don't know if you guys remember the decrease 2 together. No, the decrease 3 together, yeah, is there. So I'm gonna continue the pattern until I get down to 3 stitches so I can decrease 3 together. So normally I go in there and I just put a double crochet by itself, right? Because I already have my 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, and now I start my block. So that's 1, and then I see 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left. So I'm going to go in the next stitch, slice the ice off the top of the cake, and I'm going to put a regular double crochet in there. And now over these last 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3, that's where I'm going to decrease 3 together. So pause, go in the next stitch, yarn over, go in the next stitch. Pause, yarn over, go in the final stitch, which is that DC2 together. Yarn over, go through 2. That leaves me with 4 loops. Yarn over, go through all 4. and you see the snat continues. All right, so that's 3 decrease rows. Now I chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I turn my work for this final decrease row. See the snat though? It's beautiful. I can't emphasize enough that you may be encountering different stitches in different places, right? Different patterns in different places, because once again, it all depends on what type of round you ended on. But hopefully you're understanding what I'm doing. Like, you could follow me specifically and do exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, that'll work for you if you ended on the same round as me. But if you didn't, and chances are you didn't, then hopefully you are understanding how I'm thinking about this so that you can apply it to whatever round you ended on to begin your 4 decrease rows, okay? Okay, it is time for our final decrease row. So as always, the chain 3 there counts for the double crochet 3 together. All that belongs to that top, okay? And then we have some stitches here. So we'll go in the next one and start a double crochet. So slice the icing off the top of the cake in the next stitch, yarn over, go through 2, pause, and then we'll go into the next one and do the same thing. Yarn over, pull through to the front, and then yarn over, go through 2. That leaves us with 3 loops. Yarn over, go through all 3. And the slat continues. Okay, so now let's analyze the pattern. From this perspective, the gaps are going in that direction, which means we need to put a gap over here. So 1 and then 2, 3, okay? And then this needs to be filled in. So that's what we're gonna do. So we started with our DC 3 together, and remember the chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so 1, 2, 3, 3 together, okay? So let's go in here. The next stitch, we have another double crochet there. We'll make a double crochet. Then in this stitch, in the chain 1 space, we'll make a double crochet like that. And then in this double crochet, which is the next stitch, we'll make a double crochet, slicing the icing off the top of the cake. All right, now you guys, we're gonna start our 3 gap pattern. So chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go on to the next one, and make your double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1. So we're skipping the chain 1 space there. Make your double crochet. 1, 2. You'll see that's 2 gaps, 1, 2. And you can see from the 3 gap pattern that we need 1 more gap over here, right? Because they're going that way. So we chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, and there we'll make a double crochet. And now our 3 gap pattern is established, and we continue making our way across. So remember that third double crochet, the double crochet after the 3rd gap, 1, 2, 3, that double crochet counts as the 1. So we go 2, 3, 4, 5, and remember the 6 is always going to go in that chain 1 space, 6, and then 7 will go in that double crochet. And we have our 7 double crochet block, and now we can start the pattern again. Chain 1, our gap pattern, skip 1, okay, second one, chain 1, skip 1, make a double crochet. We need a 3rd gap, chain 1, skip 1, and go into the double crochet. And then we have our 3 gap pattern, 1, 2, 3, and we start the block of 7 double crochet again. Continue in that fashion, and I'll meet you at the other stitch marker. So I am almost at the end of the other side, and I know that I'm going to need 3 stitches for this decrease. So here's 1 stitch, the top of that decrease from below, so that's 1, and all that belongs to that top. Here's 2, and then that double crochet, that top is 3. So I'm going to continue the pattern until I get to that stitch right there. So I got 1, 2 stitches to continue the normal pattern. Here are my 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, and then I start my block, 1, 2, so 3, next stitch is 4, and now things are truncated with this 3 double crochet, or double crochet 3 together. Okay, so yarn over, go into the next stitch, start a double crochet by yarning over, going through 2, pause, yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, start another double crochet, yarn over, go through 2, pause, and then start another one, yarn over, go into the top of that previous decrease and the row below, yarn over, pull through to the front for 5 loops, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, and then with the 4 remaining loops, I'll yarn over and go through all 4. And then the slat continues. All right, so those are our 4 decrease rows. Now what we do from here will not be decrease. We're just going to work on maintaining the pattern, okay? So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Of course, because I'm still working in rows, I'm going to turn my work. And I'm going to look and analyze, okay, what is the pattern doing? Oh, this is the normal side, okay? So I see that I am currently over a block, so I need to put some double crochets in the block, but I also know, because I've crocheted several rounds and rows now, that by the time I get to that 3rd stitch, I put a double crochet in there, that's when I start the gap, right? So I'll put a double crochet in there, chain 1, skip 1, and put a double crochet in there to start the gap, because the gaps are going in that direction, okay? So this is what I mean by learning the principles, learning like what I'm trying to teach you so that you can apply it to your specific situation instead of just following, okay, chain 2. All right, he said chain 2. Okay, skip 1. Like, I need you to kind of have a deeper understanding of it so that you can apply, because there's just no way for me to know what row you're going to end up on, okay? Because we're making shirts of all different sizes. All right, so as always, that chain 3 will count for that DC 3 together, all that, everything to the right of that stitch marker, okay? So I'm going to put a double crochet in that one and in that one, and then I'm going to start my gap series. So yarn over, the next stitch is there, so I make a double crochet, then next one I make a double crochet. All right, now I'm at the 1, 2, 3, 3rd double crochet away from the end, so I started my gap. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, make a double crochet. And just like that, I've established my 3 gaps. 1, 2, 3. And you guys know this part. Yarn over, and that's 2, because remember that 3rd double crochet counts as the one of this 7 double crochet block. And then without splitting your yarn, go in there and make 3. That's your 3. Next one is the 4. By the way, somebody asked me if I've been having trouble with the cotton yarn, and the answer is no, despite what you just saw. It's rare that that happens. I did, however, have trouble with the cotton yarn, the sugar and cream cotton yarn when I was trying this, because that was the first type of yarn that I had access to when I was trying to learn how to make these. And the problem was the needle or hook size that it called for was too small for that yarn. And so whenever you have a needle, or sorry, thinking of knitting, whenever you have a crochet hook that's too small for your yarn, you're prone to splitting it because it's dividing that yarn because the hook is too small. So yes, I did have trouble with Sugars and Cream, I think that's the brand, but it was because I was using too small of a hook size, the recommended or suggested hook size. But with this, no, I haven't had any problems. And if I do, it's rare. Okay, so that's my 7. 1, 2, 3. Remember, block off 3. And if you see 4, that's 7. I'm in the 3rd double crochet from the end, so that's good. And now I'll start my next gap series. So in there, if I can grab it, I'm at a weird angle, so I'm kind of crocheting weirdly. adverb. Okay, there we go. And then there. And those are my 3 gaps. And now that 3rd double crochet becomes the one of the next block. And you see the pattern continues. Okay. And we didn't decrease. Okay. I don't know if you can see that edge, but now it's going straight up. But we did maintain the pattern. So the pattern is still slanting, still going off to the right from this perspective. And we had this decrease, right, from, let me pull this up a little bit, from this row here all the way to there. But now, if I can get that going, this is going to go straight up like that. And that's what we want. All right. All right. I will meet you at the other side. I'm at the end of this row. I've created my 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3. So now, remember, we're not decreasing. This is a regular round. We just continue with the pattern until the end. No decreasing. So here's the gap, and that's the 2. Here's the next stitch. The 3. The next stitch, which is the 4. The next stitch, which is the 5. And then this final stitch, which happens to be a decrease, here is its top, the top of all those bodies. And then that's what I have there, 6, okay? And once again, the slant goes, but now I start to go straight up, okay? Alrighty, getting exciting. All right, so this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to continue the pattern with these non-decrease rows, okay? So to start the next row, I chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm running out of yarn. By the way, I'm starting after I finish this, I'll be starting my 6th ball of this yarn, okay? Just to give you an idea, because they're not super huge. Okay, so now I just continue the pattern. I see I'm over a block, so I am going to continue with the block. Remember, the chain 3 always counts for the last stitch of the previous round, so I go to the next stitch and make a double crochet. And I do that until I get to the 3rd double crochet from the end, because I know that I need to start a gap there. So now I'm there, right? Oh, I fibbed. And this is why I say always look at your pattern, okay? So I'm going to continue putting double crochets, and I see that the gaps are going that way. So whenever your perspective is such that the gaps are going to the left, you know you're going to have to crochet into the first gap and stagger them. So the first gap will start there. So it'll be 1, 2, and then 3, okay? So let's see if I have enough yarn to make it over there to show you what I mean. I'm gonna try, you guys. Oh no, I think this is the last one I'm gonna make. And I showed you in part 1 how to connect already, right? How to connect, add on a new ball. Okay, so that gap has been eliminated in the current row. So chain 1, and go into, skip the chain 1 space, go into the next stitch and make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the next one, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and in the next stitch make a double crochet. Okay, and you see I have my 3 gaps, 1, 2, 3, and they're going that way. Okay. And you'll also notice that this is no longer slanted. It's going straight up. That's what I want. So let me zoom out so you can kind of get an idea of what you should be going for. All right, so this panel that we're working on, that's the back. That's going to be the back of the shirt. So this line right here, remember mine from here all the way down was like 17 inches, approximately 43 centimeters. Okay, so from this line going up, I'm going to crochet about 9.5 inches or around 24 centimeters. Okay, so basically you want to, if you have a person's shirt or the size of, one of their favorite shirts, you can use that, and you can measure from under their arms, because remember this line here where the stitch markers are, the initial ones that we put there, that height got us up to basically where their armpits are, right? So if you measure from that line, this line right here, all the way up, mine will be 9.5 inches, around 24 centimeters. So take that shirt and measure from that line up, and that'll tell you how many rows you need to continue to get yourself to that height. Okay. Don't measure from the first non-increase rows, measure from the line, the last round that you made. And yes, I said round, not row. The last round that you crocheted, measure from there up to the height, the top of the shirt. Okay. I think this is a good place to stop. So I'm just going to continue making non-increase, non-decrease row after row until I get to my height. And then we will begin part 3 of this series. By the way, for those of you who prefer, for the few of you who prefer to have it all in one video, after I get these out, week after week, after I've finished the top, I will combine them into one mega video. So you'll have that as an option if you don't enjoy watching sections. Okay. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I know it's taking a lot of time, but it's nice to be able to just upload, a section at a time. I can pace myself, make sure I'm doing it right, and then be able to explain it well to you guys, because I'm still learning myself. But as I said before, Taylor Xavier Crochet is, he's a great instructor. And he must be, because he's speaking in a different language, and I'm still picking up what he's putting down. All right, guys. Yeah, if you have not seen my tank top / vest tutorial, definitely check that out if you're enjoying this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Happy crocheting. All right, so before moving on to the front panel, I wanted to show you maybe some trickier corners that you will encounter on your journey of creating these panels. Okay. So this is one, it's not too tricky, but it's worth noting. All right, so I see that my gaps are going in that direction, right? And the third gap in the row below is there. So I know in the current row, I'm going to need a gap there. So I have one, put a double crochet, chained one. Now I'm going to skip one, chain one space, and go into the next double crochet. And make a double crochet, that's my second gap. 1, 2, and now I need one more. So I chain one, yarn over to prepare, skip the next stitch, and in that chain 3 on the end, that's where I'll go and make my double crochet, and therefore my third gap. 1, 2, 3. All right, so this is where it might get tricky for you, because if they're going off that way, then you might be thinking, okay, what do I do in the next row? Because I know my edge is there, my border is there. So what happens? Well, let's first do what we know. So first we chain 3, because we always do that. 1, 2, 3, right? Then we turn our work. Now you might be thinking, but sometimes we chain 4. Yeah, but before we chain that 4th one, we chain 3. Okay, so imagine that these gaps are drifting off into, like to the right, drifting off into eternity. So these final 2 gaps, well, first of all, this gap will drop off, right, in this row. And then the second and third gap will now be in that position and that position. And remember that other one, that first one dropped off. So we know that we need a gap here and we need a gap here. So speaking of that chain 4, so we chain 3, but no, now we know we need to create another gap. So we're going to chain 1 more. So that'll be our 4th chain to create the chain 1 space. Then we yarn over to prepare, skip the chain 1 space, go in the double crochet, and we make a double crochet. And between that chain 3 and that 4th chain, a total of chain 4, we have our first gap. Now we said we need another one. So chain 1, yarn over, prepare, skip the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, go into the one or after and make a double crochet. And just like that, we've created our second gap. 1, 2. Now we start to fill it in with that 7 double crochet block. And remember that 3rd double crochet, because the chain 3 counts as 1, 1, 2, 3. 3rd double crochet counts as the first double crochet of that 7 double crochet block. So this is 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to each of the next stitches. 5, 6, and the 7th one is of course being put in the row below, the 3rd double crochet from the edge of the block below. 1, 2, 3, and that's where I put it. And now I'm all set. So that's how I do it. The next time we come back this way, we're going to end with just 1 gap on the end. Did I say block? You guys know? No? Okay, I think I've been saying gaps. Yeah, we're just going to end with 1 gap on the end because this gap will drop off in the next row and this one will shift up over 1. Okay? So if I encounter any more tricky scenarios, I will pop back on before we move on to the front panel. So I have found another somewhat quasi tricky scenario. So, and it's in the same row, believe it or not, just on the other side. So I have my block of 7 double crochet made, but I still have 1, 2, 3 stitches left. All right. So now it's time to create another gap. Well, chain 1. So I always do that when I need to create a gap. Yarn over, skip 1, go into the double crochet there and make a double crochet. You might be thinking that wasn't tricky, Atreyu. Yes, but look, we have a chain 3 on the end that we need to utilize. If we chain 1, there's no other stitch to crochet into to create the next gap, right? So since we don't have 2 stitches left, we only have 1, what we do is just make a double crochet in that 3rd chain up of that chain 3. 1, 2, 3, or the top chain. The reason that we want to put something there is to maintain the number of stitches. We don't want to start accidentally decreasing, right? So this is what we have. Now, that's going to make the start of the next row tricky as well. But what do we do first? Well, we know we chain 3. 2. We chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we know we turn our work. See? We just rely on the things that we know so we don't get overwhelmed. And then we take our time and we figure it out. So, let's see. Remember, in the last video I told you to always analyze the direction of the gaps, the direction that the gaps are going in. Well, they're going this way. Okay, so right now I have one gap there, which means in this next row I should have 2 gaps. How can I create 2 gaps? Well, I know that there's going to be a gap over that gap, and they're going in that direction, so I want, since I'm in the next row, I want another gap over there so that they'll be going that way, right? All right, so the first gap that I make doesn't occur until I get over that gap there. What does that mean? That means that I've chained 3, and you see there's that double crochet right there. That means I just put a double crochet in that double crochet. I don't need to chain 1 yet because I'm not creating a gap yet. So I just go in there and I make a double crochet. Now I need to create that gap that will be placed right on top. So I chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the gap, and go into the next double crochet, and I make a double crochet, and just like that I've created a gap. There's 1 there and 1 stacked right on top. Now I chain 1 because I need another gap, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next one, and I make a double crochet, and there are my 2 gaps. Now you might be tempted to create a 3rd gap, but no, we have to be patient. The 3rd gap doesn't come in this area until the next row. So now we start our 7 double crochet blocks. So that's the first one. Next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, next stitch, which is the gap, 6, next stitch, 7. Now I start the gaps. Chain 1, skip 1, go in the double crochet, make 1, chain 1, skip 1, go in the double crochet, and make 1. And remember, my gaps are going to the left, so I need a gap over to the left. So chain 1, skip 1, go into the next one. Make that 3rd double crochet, which will be the number 1 of the next 7 double crochet block. And that is how you maintain the pattern, okay? So I want to show you how to end the previous row because it can be tricky, and then it sets you up for yet another tricky beginning to a row. But we circumvented that problem really easily, and it didn't seem like such a big deal. And now we can just continue on with our pattern. All right, I have another tricky scenario, a 3rd tricky scenario that I wanted to show you how to navigate. So I just completed my 7 double crochet block, and now I'm at that chain 4. So I always analyze the pattern. What is the pattern doing? So these gaps are going to the left, right? In this row, we have the 3 gaps at the end, and then 1 was truncated, it fell off on the edge in the next row, so we have 2, which means at the end of this row, as they move further to the left, we should only have 1 gap. Well, that's perfect because we have a chain 4, which means we have 1 chain for the chain 1 space, and then we can put that final double crochet in the 1, 2, 3, 3rd chain up of that chain 4, and that'll create our final gap. So let's do that. So chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the first chain, and go into the next chain, which is the 3rd chain up. And just like that, we've created our gap. I know it's hard to see, so put it down so it's against the white, okay? But that also potentially complicates things for us for the next row if you're not thinking about it correctly. So let me show you how to do that. What do we know? What are the first two things we know we always have to do when working in rows? Well, when going to the next one, we know that we always chain 3 first. 1, 2, 3. And then we turn our work. Those are the two things we know. All right. Now, let's think about it. Let's analyze the pattern again. These are going off that way, those gaps, right? This row that we just completed, it only had one gap, which means in this row, as it moves to the right, it falls off. That means there should be no gap here, right? Because they've all fallen off after this row. So what that means that you need to do is go into that chain 1 space and fill it in with a double crochet because there are no gaps. So 1, okay, and then next stitch is the double crochet, 2, next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, next stitch, 6. All right, let's put this down for a moment and let's analyze again. So right now we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna just slide that on down so you can see better. We've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But don't forget that chain 3 counts as 1. So we've made 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's perfect because our gaps are going in that direction, which means we're due for a gap right now. And we're exactly where we need to be because we put that 7th double crochet, when we count the chain 3 as 1, put that 7th double crochet in the 1, 2, 3, third double crochet from the end of the previous block. So everything checks out, everything balances. So we will chain 1, skip 1, go on the next one, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, go on the next stitch, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, go on the next one, make a double crochet. That's the third one. It becomes 1, next stitch is 2, next stitch is 3, next stitch is 4, next stitch is 5, next stitch is 6, next stitch is 7, and the 7th double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is in the 1, 2, 3, third double crochet from the edge of the previous row's block. So we're set up nicely. Our gaps are going in the right direction, our blocks are going in the right direction, our pattern is correct, and everything works out nicely, okay? So hopefully with these 3 scenarios, you now have a better understanding as to how to navigate these initially seemingly impossible situations that you see really are not all that impossible at all. It's just a matter of thinking about things from the right perspective and analyzing, and yeah, there's a little bit of counting involved, but hey, math is involved in everything from music to crochet to many other things. So all right, let me finish and get to my length. All right, you guys. So I have gotten my back panel up to the height that I want it to be. And for those of you who were curious, from the final round, notice what I said, round, measuring all the way up to the top, it's about 9.5 inches. And remember, I got that measurement from the shirt, the person's shirt that I'm making this for, as a reference, okay? For those of you who use the metric system, 9.5 inches is just a little bit more than 24 centimeters. So now I'm going to crochet the front panel. This is the back, and I'm going to crochet the front panel. But I'm not going to crochet up as high because we want to create the neckline, okay? So I'm going to start the front panel the exact same way that I started the back panel. So remember, we started with 4 consecutive decrease rows, okay? And I'm gonna get you started, and then I'm going to crochet a certain number of rows. But remember, I'm gonna stop before I get all the way to the top, maybe around here, we'll see, because I want to create the neckline so that it does that. All right. FYI, these 9.5 inches of that back panel, that ended up being, for me, 24 rows, just to give you a reference. Okay. So right now, my yarn is still connected up here. I'm going to cut it because I still have this much of it, and I can use this to start working down here on the front panel. But I know that later I'm going to want to connect the back panel to the front panel, so I'm going to leave a tail. So I'll take this out. All right, and then I'm going to just chain 1. So yarn over, pull through, and then I'm gonna leave, it doesn't need to be super long because we're just gonna be making slip stitches when we connect, but I'll leave that much and just pull that through. Now we have this tail that we'll use later to connect the front with the back panel on this side. And we will connect this side as well. All right, so for those of you who do not remember exactly what we did to get started to create that that back panel that we just made, let me get you started again. So remember these stitch markers on both sides, on either side of this? Remember I told you to leave them in? Now you understand why. Okay, so if we look at our work, and let's see if we can find what side. Oh yeah, it was connected, so it doesn't matter. But I'll just say that this was the row, and then we started working front side in the very next row this way, going in that direction, okay? So what that means is if we go to this side, if we connect our yarn here where this red stitch marker is, so actually in that double crochet there, pull this back so it'll focus on what I wanted to focus on. So here's the stitch marker, and here's the, remember we split the 7 and 3 and 4. So we're going to start with the 4th one. We'll attach our yarn there, and then we'll start to work on this first row of this front panel going in that direction. And that way, this row will be displaying the front side and it'll match the back panel, okay? So let's grab the yarn that we have. So this is the tail of the other one, so we'll get that out of the way. We'll just hook it onto our crochet hook and just pull it through like this, and then tie a couple of knots to secure it. So 1 and 2. Now we're going to go into the top of that double crochet of these 4. So slice the icing on top of the cake, okay, and we're going to yarn over, pull through, and then chain to even further secure it. All right, so that's 1 chain. Let's make 2 more. So that's 2, and then that's 3. Now we always start by decreasing 3 together at the beginning and end of every row. So even though that's a chain 3, remember that chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and it's going to be part of our decrease. So imagine that that's 1 double crochet that we didn't complete, even though it's 3 chains. All right, so now we go to the next stitch and we'll start a double crochet. So yarn over, I'm going to crochet over the tail because you guys know I hate weaving them in later. Here's the next stitch. Slice the icing off the top of the cake. I'm going to put the tail over it. And then I'm going to, without grabbing that tail, yarn over, pull through to the front. And that gives me 3 loops. And then I'm going to yarn over it and go through only 2. 1, 2. And then I want to pause. So right now I have 2 double crochet in this double crochet 3 together. The chain 3, which counts as 1, and a partial double crochet, which counts as 2. So I need 1 more double crochet. So yarn over, go to the next stitch, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front. Now I have 4 loops on my crochet hook. I'll yarn over, go through 2, and then yarn over and go through the remaining 3, like that. And that right there is my decrease 3 together, okay? So now it's time to analyze, as always, the pattern to see what we need to be doing. So right here, it looks like these gaps are going in that direction, right? And normally, so since the gap of the previous row was there, we need one here. So we would chain 1, obviously, right? But we only have 1 more stitch there. So we would have to crochet into that gap, which we don't want to do. So don't panic. Here's how we'll fix it. So we'll take out this DC 3 together. We'll go back to the chain 3. All right, so it still counts as a double crochet. But now what we're going to do is we'll start a double crochet in the next one, like we did before. And now we are going to complete it. So basically we'll make another double crochet. So yarn over, go through 2, and then yarn over again, go through 2. And this will be a DC 2 together. So we have the 3 chains and the double crochet, okay? And since that chain 3 counts as a double crochet, that's DC 2 together. What that allows us to do now is to create the gap because we have 2 stitches. So we'll chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip the next stitch, and go into one thereafter. And then make your double crochet. And now we have our gap there. Okay, so sometimes you have to be creative in crochet, but this is why I always say it's important to analyze the pattern so you know what's going on. And now we'll just continue. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next stitch, make a double crochet. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go in the next stitch, and make a double crochet. That's the 3rd double crochet. Okay, so we have our 3 gaps, and put this down against the white so you can see how the gaps are continuing in that direction. Okay, see? It was there, so 1, 2, 3, it was there in the row below, but now it moved over 1 to the right in the current row. And we have 1, 2, 3, and now remember that 3rd double crochet counts as the first double crochet of the 7 in our block. So now we crochet in the gap. I'm still crocheting over that tail. Don't mind me. And if it gets kind of raggedy, I can always cut it down later. Okay, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now it works out with the pattern. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That 7th double crochet is in the 1, 2, 3, 3rd double crochet from the edge of the block below. And then it's time to start the gap series. Chain 1, skip 1, go on the next one, make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go on the next one, make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go on the next one, make a double crochet. And that 3rd double crochet counts as the first of the 7 double crochet that will make up our next block. And after you get going on your pattern, just take a few seconds to make sure that the gaps are going in the right direction, or you can look at the blocks if they're going in the right direction, and they are. Okay, so continue in this fashion, and I'll meet you at the other edge so I can show you how to decrease on that side. On this side, we ended up needing to decrease 2 stitches together. Ideally, we would decrease 3, but sometimes, like I said, you have to work with what you got. And, you know, it's not the end of the world. It will still all turn out well, so don't panic, okay? Just try to come up with a solution. All right, I'll meet you once I get to the other side. So as you can see, I'm nearing the end of this row. How do I know? Because I see the stitch marker there. So I just completed a block of 7 double crochet. And basically I want to continue the pattern until I get down to my final 3 stitches. So after a block of 7, I know I have to chain 1, skip 1, and create a gap by placing a double crochet in the stitch thereafter. And now let's see, chain 1, that's a space, that's 1, double crochet is 2, and then there's another chain 1 space, which is 3. So now I'm going to decrease over those 3 stitches, okay? Double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, go on the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, and start a double crochet. Pause. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, which is the double crochet, slice and icing off top of the cake, but only the icing, not the body. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, pause. And then the third one, yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, and then I have 4 loops. I yarn over and go through all 4. And now I have decreased 3 together. Now I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to turn my work. And I know that when possible, for this row and the next 2, because it's the first 4, I need to decrease 3 together at the beginning of the row. So that chain 3 counts as one of the double crochet of that double crochet 3 together. So I have 2 more, okay? That chain 3 also counts for that DC 3 together there. So this is its top, and all that to the right of this darning weaving tapestry needle, all that goes with that. So the next stitch is here. So I yarn over, go into the next stitch, which is there, slice and ice off top of the cake, and I start a double crochet. And I pause. Now the next stitch is that chain 1 space there. So I yarn over, go in there, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2. And I have 3 loops on my crochet hook, and now I yarn over and go through all 3. And that's my DC 3 together, and you see the slant continues, okay? Now it's time to analyze the pattern to make sure I'm continuing the pattern. So for these first 4 rows, at the beginning and at the end, I make sure that I'm doing the DC 3 together where possible. And then once I get that made, then I start to look at the pattern and analyze, okay? So I see, because I'm working on the back side, the gaps, they're going in that direction, okay? So I need to crochet double crochets in that direction through that, and then I'll start a gap, and there'll be a gap there over that one, there'll be a gap there over that one, and then I'm going to create a gap there over there, because with each successive row the gap moves to the left from this perspective, okay? So that makes it easy. So that just means that I'm going to crochet until I get there, basically. So I'm just going to put double crochets in every stitch. And you're going to have a block of more than 7. Most likely, we'll see. Okay, 2. Not counting that initial double crochet 3 together. So let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 8, and then 9. And that's fine. Why is that fine, you ask? Why isn't it 7? Well, because where we would have normally put a gap, we had to decrease, so it got truncated. But don't worry, because the pattern will continue from this point on that way. And then when we come back, we will continue the pattern. So don't worry. It's truncated there, but it'll come back. All right, so now I create my first gap. So skip, go in there. That's one. So that gap is over that one. Now I need to put one over that one. Chain one, skip, next one gets a double crochet. Now I have two gaps, 1, 2. Now I need to make one more. Chain one, skip one, and that one goes the double crochet. And now I have my 3 gaps, and they're moving to the left. Now I continue with the pattern. So remember, the 3rd double crochet right after the 3rd gap counts as the one of the 7 double crochet blocks. So that's 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, 6, and next stitch, which is the double crochet, is 7. And now I'm set up again. I have my 7, and it's time to start my blocks or my gaps. So chain 1, skip 1, go on the double crochet, put a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, go on the double crochet, and make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go on the double crochet, and put that 3rd gap like that, and they go in the right direction. So I'm set up perfectly. Okay, so yes, I had to deviate a little bit, just a little bit from the pattern, but only because I needed to decrease, and that kind of threw things off. But then I analyzed my pattern, I saw what was needed, and I picked it up, and now I'm back on track. I will show you the other side for one more decrease at the end, and then I'll let you fly for these 4 rows, okay? So I am almost at the other end. How do I know? There's the red stitch marker. And remember, I want to decrease over the final 3 stitches. So I just completed a block of 7. And let's see how many stitches I have left. I have 1, which is chain 1 space, 2, 3, and then 4. And if I count that, even though that chain 3 is really part of that DC2 together, if I need it, I can separate it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I know it's time for a gap, so let's see. If I chain 1 like that, yarn over to prepare, skip, and go in there, and that double crochet, and make that double crochet, then I have the gap that I want, right? Okay, so now let's see how many stitches I have left. Chain 1 space is 1, and then I can count that as 2, and I can technically count that as 3, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is this double crochet that I made, I'm going to make that part of my double crochet 3 together. So it'll be 1, 2, and then 3, and then it'll create that snap like that. So watch this, you guys. So I'll take even the chain 1 out so you can see. So chain 1, now yarn over, skip 1, go into the double crochet and start a double crochet. Pause. That's the first of the DC3 together, the 3 double crochet that I'm decreasing over. Okay, yarn over, go into the next stitch, which is that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2. Pause. That's 2 of the 3 double crochet. And you might be kind of hard pressed to see this, but this is the final stitch, and right there's its top. So I'm going to yarn over one more time, go in there, slice and icing off the top of the cake, pull that out now, yarn over, pull through to the front, 5 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through all 4, and that's my decrease, and the slant, as you see, continues. So now it's time to turn my work. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, By the way, before I even turn my work, I'm going to tell you now that chain 3 counts for that DC3 together there. And it's going to be part of my DC3 together in this row right now as I turn my work. So before I worry even about the pattern, my focus is on constructing my double crochet 3 together. That chain 3 counts as the first of the 3 double crochet. So now I need 2 more. So yarn over. The next stitch is that chain 1 space there. So I'm going to go in there and start a double crochet. Go through 2, pause. Now start a 3rd one in the next stitch, which is right there. Slice nice and off the top of the cake. Yarn over, go through 2. Pause, and there are my 3 loops. Yarn over, go through all 3. And the slat continues. Now that I have decreased, now I think about, okay, what's the pattern? So I see my gaps are going in that direction. So that means if I count 1, 2, 3, the 3rd gap in this current row needs to be over here. Okay? To create a gap over here, I need this stitch to have the final double crochet, which is the 3rd one from the end, right, of that block. Then I'll chain 1, skip that one, and make a double crochet there, and then that'll create a gap. So I got my plan. So now it's just time to implement it. So next stitch, we'll get a double crochet. Next stitch, we'll get a double crochet. Next stitch, we'll get a double crochet. I'm just slicing nice and off the top. Next stitch, we'll get a double crochet. Now I get to chain 1, skip 1, go in the next stitch, and make the double crochet. And there's my gap. See how it moved? So I'll put a gap there, and then, so 1 over there, 1 over that one, and then I'll start my next block of 7. All right, so this is the 3rd decrease row. I'll let you finish the 4th, and then I'll show you maybe 1 row of just maintaining, and then I'll let you fly, okay? See you at that point. So I am now at the end of my final decrease row, row 4. And as you see, the gaps are moving that way. So I have 1 more to make. So I'll chain 1, skip 1, and when I go into that stitch to create that double crochet, that's going to be the 3rd from the last stitch. So look. So I'm going to skip this one, and that's going to leave me with 1, 2, 3 stitches. So that's where I'm going to start my DC3 together. So yarn over, skip 1, go into that 3rd from the last stitch, which happens to be the one after the one I skipped, and I'll start a double crochet, pause, yarn over, go into the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, pause, yarn over, go into the final stitch, and remember all of that body has this one top, like that. Slicing the icing off the top of the cake, yarning over, pulling through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, and then yarn over, go through all 4. And then the decrease, the slant continues. So just like before, that is my final decrease row, row 4. So from here on out, when I start a new row, I don't need to worry about decreasing. All I need to do is focus on the pattern, okay? So one last thing to think about. We know 2 things that we always do. We chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we turn our work. Now, let's put this down and let's look at our pattern. When we look at these gaps, they're going toward the right. And we just finished a row that has 3 gaps, okay? So we know that this one that's on the edge is going to drop off in the next row because it's truncated, it's cut off. There's nowhere for it to go. So we know that we're only going to have 2 gaps. So we don't need to decrease, so that's fine. That's good. One less thing to think about. So the way we do this is we will, because we need to stack a gap over there, over that one, and we need to stack a gap on top of that one. And then we'll resume with our normal 7 double crochet block pattern. So we have a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. We're going to chain a fourth one. So we'll chain one. That's going to be our chain one space. We'll skip one. That is the chain one space, and go into the double crochet and make a double crochet. And that's our first gap. Now we'll repeat that. Chain one, yarn over to prepare, skip one, go into the double crochet, make a double crochet. Those are our 2 gaps. And now we start the pattern. So remember, that double crochet counts as the one of the 7 double crochet blocks. So this next one will be 2, next one will be 3, next one will be 4, next one will be 5, next one will be 6, next one will be 7, and as always, that 7th double crochet should be put in the 3rd double crochet from the end of the previous 7 double crochet blocks. So 1, 2, 3, it checks, and now we can start our gap series by, you guys already know, chaining 1, skipping 1, going to the next one, chain 1, skip 1, going to the next one, chain 1, skip 1, going to the next one. And so what that leaves you with is the pattern continues. These blocks continue in that direction, these gaps continue in that direction, and when you hold this up, you'll see that the slant does not continue. It goes like that, and then it goes up as it should, which means that you did it correctly. Okay. And when you get to the end of the row, I'll pop back on and show you that. I've shown you all of this when we crocheted the back panel, but you guys know I spoil you, so I will show you one more time the other end, and then I will let you fly. See you there. So I'm at the other edge now, and I see the row below there, it had 1 gap, and I noticed the gaps are going in that direction. So I know I need 2 gaps. I've already started 1. There's 1 there, so I'll chain 1, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, and in the next stitch I'll put a double crochet, and that creates my 2 gaps that I need. But I'll notice that I have 1 more stitch here, because all of that right there, all of that to the left of my crochet hook, that's a DC 3 together. So if you chain 1, well, first of all, you wouldn't want to chain 1, because this row should only have 2 gaps, since the previous one only had 1, right? And they're going that way. So that's 1 clue. But if you were to chain 1 and try to skip 1, because all that's the next stitch, then there's nothing else. So that should clue you in to the fact that you can't chain 1. What you need to do is just go into that stitch, 1 top, and make a double crochet. And remember, we're maintaining now, okay? So we're no longer slanting, it's going straight up. So then, what I like to do to make sure that I have not increased or decreased is I count the stitches in the row below. So on the end, so there's 1, and then like I said, all of that is 2. So 1, 2 stitches. So in this row that I just finished, how many stitches do I have on the end? 1, 2. Okay, I did not increase or decrease. So now I chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is starting my second non-increase decrease row. Turn my work, and then I look, okay, from this perspective, what's happening? The gaps are going in that direction, so that means that I'm going to want a gap over that one, a gap over that one, and I'm going to have 1 over there because they're going off to the left, right? So let's see. The chain 3 counts as a double crochet. If we're stacking the gaps, that means we need to put a double crochet in that next stitch. So we had 2 stitches on the end of that row. We have 2 stitches on the end of this one. Now we can stack those gaps. So chain 1, skip 1, and the next one make a double crochet. And that's our first gap stacked, right? Let's do it again. Chain 1, skip 1, put a double crochet in the next stitch. And that's our second gap. now we need one more. So chain one, yarn over to prepare, skip one, go on the next one, and make your double crochet. That's the third double crochet, and now that third double crochet counts as the first double crochet of the 7 double crochet that make up the block. So that's 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, next stitch, which is chain 1 space, is 6, next stitch double crochet is 7, and now we start the 3 gap series all over again, skipping 1 stitch in between, and 1, skip 1, and there we go. And there you have it. Okay, so we have our 3 gaps, we have our 7 double crochet block, we have 3 more gaps, and the pattern, whether you're looking at the blocks or the gaps, continues to the left from this perspective. Okay, so as I said, you're going to crochet this for several rows, but you won't crochet the total number of rows that you made when you made the back panel, right? Because we want to establish the collar line, which means we have to stop crocheting rows sooner. So for me, I'm going to establish probably like a 4-inch height difference. So that's about 10 centimeters. So let me show you what I mean. Take my hook out, I'll hold that stitch with the stitch marker. I'm going to zoom out and show you what I mean. So this, remember, is the front panel. I'm going to turn it over now. So this is the back panel, right? And then what I'm working on, you see the loop there, that's the front panel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is crochet this all the way up until I have about a 4-inch height difference. So if I measure 4 right there, so I'm going to crochet this all the way up to about there. Okay, and then at that point, that's when I'm going to start to work on my what do you call it? My collar line. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So I think this is a good place to stop for this video. We'll let you guys get to work. Okay. It's very easy, very similar to what we did in the last video last week. So you guys know what to do. I've shown you so many times what to do in this video and the previous one, so you guys have no excuse. Okay, alrighty, you guys, welcome to part 4 of this how to crochet a mesh top series, and we're getting closer and closer to the end. Hopefully you guys are making your own and crocheting with me, because guess what, I'm gonna have this awesome mesh top. And yeah, all I gotta say is I hope you do too. So, all right, let's begin. So I ended up crocheting 14 rows on this front panel. Remember, I had crocheted 24 rows on the back panel, starting from where we put these stitch markers at down here, right? So if I've crocheted 14 on the front panel, and now I need to create the collar line and have it match the back panel, that means I have 10 more rows to crochet on the front panel to get it up to here, okay? And I am going to crochet on one side, decreasing as I go up, and then for 4 rows, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, attaching yarn and then crocheting rows, but decreasing on this side so that the collar line goes like that. On the edges, just like with our mesh tank top in the other video, we will not be decreasing because we want that to stay straight, right? If we decreased on the edge, then it would be doing this, and we don't want that. So we will only decrease on the side, basically in the center of the top, the crochet top. And we will be maintaining our edges on this front panel. Okay, so what I did is basically I just counted the number of stitches starting from one edge, and first I counted 30 over here, and then I went from this edge and I counted 30 stitches over there, over from there on the left side. And the stitch markers were these two stitch markers were kind of far away, which meant that the collar line was wider than I wanted. So I kind of went over 5 more stitches on this side, and I like that. And then I looked to see if I could move over 5 stitches on this side and still have a decently, a width that's decent for the neckline, and it is. So basically, ultimately, what I ended up doing was counting over 35 stitches, putting a stitch marker from the right, and counting over 35 stitches and putting a stitch marker on the left. And to give you an idea of how much distance that is, it's about 3.25, a little bit more than 3.25 inches, a little bit less than 8.5 centimeters, okay? And each side for me is, let's see, this is about 6 inches, which is close to 15 centimeters on that side. And same thing, 6 inches, which is close to 15 centimeters on that side, okay? So because I got the same measurements on both sides, by counting the number of stitches, that means that my tension was pretty consistent, which is always a good thing. The more consistent your tension is, the neater your work will look, okay? All right, so I'm only going to demonstrate one side because it's exactly the same thing to do it on the other side, okay? So that's what I'm going to show you now. And as I said, for both sides, you're going to decrease for the first 4 rows, just like we did down here, okay? So we'll decrease for the first 4 rows when we do this side, and also when you do this side. And then the rest of the rows will be just maintaining the same number of stitches until you get up. So if we decrease for 4 rows, and in my case, I have a total of 10 rows, that means I'll have 6 rows left where I'm just maintaining the same number of stitches on both sides, okay? All right, let's begin. So I'm going to start with this side, the right side, from this perspective. And my yarn is still attached because this was the final row that I crocheted. So I don't need to attach any yarn for this side because it's already attached. I'll just start from that edge. You guys know I like to use a stitch marker to hold my loop so that I don't accidentally lose any stitches. Okay, so I know first, and let me get the back panel out of the way so it doesn't try to focus on it. I know first that I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn my work, which was pretty much already turned, but we want to be consistent, right? So this is the edge, this is the outside edge, and we know that even though we're decreasing during the first 4 rows, we only decrease on the inner part where the collar line is starting. So, all right, so let's analyze the pattern. The gaps are going in that direction, so that means I need to keep it solid until I get to basically this 3rd double crochet from the edge. So 1, 2, 3. So I'll put a double crochet in the next stitch there, 1 there, and then I'll start my gaps, okay? We got our plan, let's go. So here's the next stitch, double crochet, next stitch, double crochet. Alrighty, now I'm gonna chain 1, skip 1, go into the next one, put a double crochet to create that first gap, chain 1, skip 1, which is a chain 1 space, go in the next one, make a double crochet to create the second gap, chain 1, skip 1, which is the chain 1 space, go on the next one, put a double crochet to create that third gap. 1, 2, 3. And now we start our next 7 double crochet block. And remember that final double crochet counts as the 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Cover the first 3, see the remaining 4. We have a total of 7, and now we start the gap series again. And we're going to follow this pattern until we get to our final 3 stitches, because remember, we like to decrease over 3 stitches. We like to do a DC3 together when we decrease on the edges. All right. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, that's our 7. Cover the first 3, see the remaining 4. So we have our total of 7. Chain 1, skip 1, go on the next one. That's our first gap. Okay, we're getting close to that stitch marker, so let's pay attention. So the stitch marker will be 1 stitch. The chain 1 space will be the second stitch, and that double crochet right there will be the 3rd stitch. So let's see. So I think I can get one more gap in there. Chain 1, skip 1, go in there like that. So we have 2 gaps, and now it's time to decrease. So I said 1, 2, 3. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to chain 1 and skip 1. So we will actually create that 3rd gap up here. But when we go in here to put that double crochet, it's actually going to be a double crochet 3 together. We're going to start a double crochet there, there, and there, and then bring it all together. So watch this, you guys. So yarn over, skip the chain 1 space, go on the next stitch, pause, yarn over, go in the chain 1 space, yarn over, go through 2, pause, yarn over, go in the stitch with the stitch marker, yarn over, pull through to the front for 5 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through all 4. And we've decreased, just like that. All right, so picking up from where we left off, that is our decrease. And that's the first of the 4 decrease rows that we're gonna make. So as always, we know 2 things we always do is we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we turn our work. Okay, so remember, we're still on the same edge where we actually do that decrease. So we need to decrease now 3 together. This chain 3 counts for all of that right there, okay? So that means that counting this chain 3, which is acting as a double crochet, that's 1, we'll use this chain 1 space for 2, and then that double crochet for 3. That's going to be our DC3 together. So yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, yarn over, go through 2, pause, yarn over, go into the double crochet now, yarn over, pull through to the front for 4 loops, yarn over, go through 2, pause, and you see 3 bodies. Even though this is a chain 3, counted as a body, so this is our DC 1, 2, 3 together, yarn over, go through all 3. And we've decreased, and the slant continues. All right, so now we are going to, let's put it down and look at the pattern. Okay, the gaps are going that way. So we know that we need a gap over this one, we need a gap over that one, and we're gonna need one over there. So now that we have a game plan, we'll continue. So you will chain 1, skip one, go into the next one, make a double crochet, chain one, skip one, go into the next one, make a double crochet. So that's 2 gaps. And then one more time, chain one, skip one, go into the next one, make a double crochet. And those are your 3 gaps, right? And now we will continue with our 7 block pattern. So that 3rd double crochet that we made counts as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to go in that chain 1 space, just like it did earlier in this top, and then 7 will go in that double crochet. And we have our 7 double crochet block. Now we start the gap series again. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, next stitch double crochet. And now we start our 7, we've started our 7 double crochet block with that double crochet, that last one counting as the 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is in the chain 1 space again, as it always is in this direction, and then 7 goes in the double crochet. Now it's time to start our gap series. So chain 1, skip 1, next one gets a double crochet. And let's look, how many stitches do we have left? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Because remember, this is the edge and we don't decrease. So that's not a DC3 together. That's a chain 1 space, a double crochet, and a chain 3. And we have to crochet in each of those stitches. All right, or chain 1 and skip over them. So for instance, right now, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, go in the next stitch and make a double crochet. That's our 2nd gap, okay? And then we'll chain 1, skip the double crochet and put a double crochet in the top chain of that chain 3. So basically we've ended this side with the 3 gaps like that, okay? All right, that's row 2. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. And then remember this edge, we don't decrease. We just pay attention to the pattern. So we know these gaps are going off to the right. And this 3rd one is going to basically fall off in this row. So these 2 over here will move to that position and that position. So we need a gap there and a gap there, and then we'll start our 7 double crochet block. So we've chained 3, but we need a gap. So we need to chain a 4th chain. So that's the 4. And now we put a double crochet. So we skip the chain 1 space, and in the double crochet, we put the double crochet. And that creates our gap. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, and then the double crochet thereafter, put a double crochet. Those are our 2 gaps. And now we start creating our 7 double crochet block. And that double crochet right there counts as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember, in this direction, the 7th double crochet of that block should be in the 3rd double crochet from the edge of the block below. So here's the block below, 1, 2, 3, and that's where the double crochet is. So it works, and now we start our gap. 3 gap series. All right, that third double crochet is the 1, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, that 7th double crochet once again is the 1, 2, 3, the third double crochet from the edge of the block below. So now we start our gap. So skip 1, go on the next one. And as we get closer to the edge, we want to make sure we reserve 3 stitches. So I'm going to chain 1, skip that one, and then put a double crochet there, because I think I still see at least 3 stitches left. So let's look. So on this edge, because this is the decrease edge, all that is 1 stitch. That is the DC 3 together. So that's 1, chain 1 space is 2, and that double crochet is 3. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to decrease over those 3 stitches. And I have room to create that third gap. So watch this. Chain 1, skip 1, and in here is where I'll start the DC 3 together. So I yarn over, go through 2, pause, go into the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, yarn over, go through 2, pause, start the third double crochet in the DC 3 together, getting only the top there, like that, slice and icing off the top of the cake. Yarn over, go through 2, pause, then we have our 4 loops, yarn over, go through all 4, and the slant continues. So that's our third row of decrease. We have one more. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. And these rows get shorter with each successive row since they're decreases. Okay, this is the edge because this is the collar line edge. So we decrease over these stitches, and remember on this edge that chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and it counts for all that, and that chain 3 counts for all of that. So that's 1. This chain 1 space will be 2, and that double crochet will be 3. So let's decrease 3 together. So go in the chain 1 space, pause, go in the double crochet, yarn over, go through 2, pause, and then yarn over, go through all 3, and that's our final decrease. Now that we have done that, we look at the pattern and figure out what we need to do. Okay, so the gaps are going in that direction, so we know we're going to have to create a gap over here. So let's chain 1, skip 1, go into the double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the double crochet. That's the second gap. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the double crochet. That's the third gap. And just like that, we have our 3 gaps. That third double crochet counts as the 1 of the 7 double crochet of our block. So this one is 2, this one is 3, this one is 4, this one is 5. Remember, in this direction, the 6 goes in that chain 1 space, and then 7 goes in the double crochet, and now we start our 3 double crochet gap again. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. All right, and now that third double crochet counts as the 1 of the 7 double crochet blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, on this side, we put a stitch in every stitch because this is not a decreased side. This is the edge. Okay, so that's 5, 6, and then this double crochet there is 7. Okay. And it looks like we have what, 2 more stitches. Remember, be careful when you have the chain 4 and you're not decreasing, because it's chain 3 and then there's a 4th chain to create that gap there, right? So if this double crochet is in that one and there are 4 chains there, one of those chains is the chain 1 space, which I need to put a double crochet into, and then the chain 3 is also a double crochet, which I need to account for by placing a double crochet. So with this chain 4 right now, I have 2 more stitches left. If I don't put those 2 stitches, if I don't make those 2 stitches, then I'm going to accidentally decrease. Okay, so be very careful. All right, and since I have a chain 4 and there are 2 spots and I've completed my 7 double crochet block, I can make that final gap. So chain 1, yarn over, skip 1, which is the 4th chain that I made, and then go into the top chain of that chain 3 or the 3rd chain up and make the double crochet. It's kind of hard to see, but you do have that final gap there. All right, so now these are my 4 decreased rows on the side, and now I need to maintain these, how many ever stitches I have for the next 6 rows. So I will have a total of 24 rows, okay? And it'll match the back panel. So just to get you started, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work. All right, this block, because they're going in that direction, will drop off. So now I just fill it in with a double crochet, that chain 1 space. So go into the chain 1 space and make a double crochet. And remember, that's 2. The chain 3 counted as a double crochet. This is the 2nd one. Next stitch is 3. Next stitch, slicing the icing off top of the cake, is 4. Next stitch is 5. Next stitch is 6. Next stitch is 7. And that 7 in this direction is always going to be found in the 1, 2, 3, 3rd double crochet from the edge of that 7 double crochet block in the row below. So now it's time to start my gap series. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. If I can get in there, there we go. And that 3rd double crochet counts as the 1, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is in the 3rd double crochet from the edge. 1, 2, 3. All right, start the gap. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Now I'm getting to the edge, so I want to pay attention, and I'm no longer decreasing, you guys, right? So I see, okay, how many stitches do I have left? Well, this right here is all that is 1 stitch, because that's the double crochet 3 together. So that's 1, that's 2 in the chain 1 space. The chain 1 space makes 2. This double crochet makes 3. And this chain 1 space makes 4. Because I'm not decreasing, I need to crochet 4 stitches over those 4 stitches so that I maintain, okay, the same number of stitches. So I need, let's see, I have 1, 2 gaps. I can create 1 more gap. So I chain 1, skip 1, and I put the double crochet like that. So now I have all 3 gaps, and now I have 2 stitches left. 1, which is the chain 1 space, and that double crochet 3 together there. So I'm going to just put a double crochet in each of those. So here in the chain 1 space, I put a double crochet, and then in this DC3 together, I slice the icing off top of the cake and make a double crochet. All right, and I maintain the same number of stitches. Now I chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I turn my work, and then I maintain my stitches. So I have 3 stitches right here, and I look, okay, go in this direction, let's see. So there'll be I'll fill this in, but there's going to be a gap there, there, and there. Okay, so just visualize it. So I chain 3, I go in the next stitch, put a double crochet, go in the next stitch, put a double crochet, go in the chain 1 space, put a double crochet, go into the double crochet after, put a double crochet. And now I start the gaps. Chain 1, skip 1, go into the double crochet, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, go into the double crochet, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, go into the double crochet, make a double crochet. And now my gaps have continued in that direction. I've maintained the number of stitches on this edge, which is why it's no longer at a slant. It's going straight up now, okay? And then I just continue the pattern. So I have my 3 gaps, and now I start to put my double crochet. That 3rd double crochet counts as the one of the 7, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, in this direction, the 6 will go in that chain 1 space, 6, 7, and now I start my 3 gap series. So first gap, chain 1, second gap, chain 1, 3rd gap. Okay? And now I just fill in the rest. So that 3rd double crochet is the 1, this is 2, next stitch is 3. Make sure you're maintaining the same number of stitches. This is 4, and then don't forget that chain 3 on the end is 5. Just go into the top chain. Okay, so I've created 4 decrease rows and 2 normal rows where I maintain the same number of stitches. So that's a total of 6. So I have 4 more rows. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Make sure that you start on the same side. So for instance, let's see, put my stitch marker in here to hold that. Okay, so memory serves me correctly. Yeah, it does. I started this way. So for this row, this is showing the fronts of the stitches, okay? So when you get ready to attach your yarn, attach it here because you're going to be crocheting in that direction, and it will show once again the fronts of your stitches, okay? And remember, because on this side, this is the center of the shirt, this is the decrease side. So you're going to decrease on the side for those first 4 rows. However, on the edge, that's where you're going to maintain, okay? So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to finish this side, and I'm going to have a total of 24 rows. Let me zoom out so that the front panel matches the back panel in terms of length. Okay, see how I'm already getting closer now up there? Yeah, just 4 more rows and I'll be there. So I'm gonna continue crocheting this side, finish this side, and then I'm going to show you how to finish up this top in the next video. Yes, in the next video. I'm taking my time, and I hope you are as well. You want to get this right. And I'm really taking my time showing you showing you all these steps. So yeah, this is going to be like a mega tutorial when I finally publish the full video, the video that will contain all of these individual parts, okay? So yeah, hopefully this is making sense. I know I was kind of moving a little fast in this at certain parts, but it's because I've been basically going over the same steps all throughout this series. So I didn't want to bore you. I know that you guys pretty much already know what to do. So I just wanted to kind of demonstrate, but let you get to it. All right. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this. And yes, I will see you in the next video. So in today's video, and this, I think it's the 5th video of this How to Crochet a Mesh Top series, we will be tackling the sleeves, right? You see, we're pretty much done, right? These are connected, the shoulders are connected. So now we need to make these sleeves. And so you might be wondering, well, how do I know how large to make my sleeve? So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. Let's begin. All right, so what I like to do, I'm saying that like I have so much experience making these shirts. It's like, okay, Trey, this is your first time. But what I did this time and what I will continue to do in the future is I'm going to use the same reference shirt that I used to measure from the bottom of the shirt up to like the armpits. So I'll use that same shirt and I'm going to measure. So this is the sleeve, if you can't tell. Okay. So I'm going to measure this distance right here at the opening of the sleeve. Okay. So let's just say it's about 7 inches, which is almost 18 centimeters. Okay. And because we have a front side to the sleeve and a back side, and we have a little bit on the side, but that's kind of negligible. Then I'll just double that. So I know that I'm going to want to chain out enough stitches so that I have 7 times 2. I have a length that is 7 times 2 inches. So a length that's 14 inches or around a little bit less than 36 centimeters, right? So that's how I figure it out. Now, we are still, because we're still utilizing this same pattern here, right? Remember, our multiple was 12, and we want to maintain that same pattern along the sleeves. So we're going to chain out a multiple of 12 that gets us closest to 14 inches. And then basically we'll do the exact same thing that we did when we were making the body of this crochet mesh top. So I'm going to get you started just to show you how to do it, because you guys know I like to provide a lot of detail in my videos. Also, I am waiting on more crochet yarn. So I think I finally know how many packs I'm going to need, or you will need, and I'll update all the videos so it says it. But yeah, this is my 5th 2-pack, so basically 10 balls, and I probably won't use all 10. It'll probably be like 9 balls, but they come in 2 packs. So all right, I'm sure some of you are like, okay, Trey, enough talking, just show me. So let me just show you. So while I wait for that yarn to arrive, I want to use a medium 4 yarn just to demonstrate, and it will allow me to do this quickly. Okay, so take my yarn, wrap it around my finger, twist exchange, wrap it around my finger this way, pull this one over that one and off the finger while lifting up on the loop that's on the finger, insert the crochet hook, and then pull to tighten. So remember, I want a multiple of 12, and like I said, really I don't need to show you this, because all you have to do is go back to the beginning of the video and crochet out enough chains, a multiple of 12 chains, so that it reaches the 14 inches. But I'll indulge. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It feels so weird holding this hook in my hand. I'm so used to using this now that this feels like so large. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so that's 24. And I just want to see where I'm at, how much further I have to go with this. So it's about 7 we'll say 7 inches, okay? So I'm guessing that since I've made 24, that's 7 inches, I need 14, then I'll need to crochet out 24 more chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so zoom out a little bit. And let's get our tape measure. So, could stretch it a little bit. Yeah, when I remove all the parts of it where it bunches up, it is about the 14 inches, okay? A secondary check is you could grab that sleeve again, lay it out, and then fold this in half like that, and see that, make sure it's comparable, which it is. Okay, so we're good. And just like before, we're going to slip stitch into the first chain, okay, and we'll be entering from the back. So remember the importance of making sure that there's no twisting. So we're looking at the fronts of the chain, so we're just going to gently slide them, making sure that it's not twisting. And then we get to that final chain there. We're going to kind of curve it around the finger like that. And now we're looking at the back, and that's where we're going to insert our crochet hook. So there's the notch. Just to the left, we insert our crochet hook, and then we yarn over and slip stitch. So yarn over, and then pull all the way through, like that, okay? Now, we'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and remember that counts as a double crochet, so that's the first stitch. And now we'll start that 7 double crochet, 3 gap pattern. We've already made 1 double crochet by making the chain 3, right? And so remember, think of these notches, I think of them as the nodules on Godzilla's back. So if you go just to the left of that, that's where the next stitch is. So yarn over, here's the notch, go left, and then insert your crochet hook in there, grabbing that top loop and make your double crochet. So that's 2 to the left. So I'm not used to using a hook this big anymore. That's 3. Here's the notch, go over. Wow, I really got to get back used to this. 4. Okay. 5. Here's the notch, go left. 6. Here's the notch, go left, and this is 7. So I've made 6 double crochets, but that chain 3 counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I start my gap series, my 3 gap series. So chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next one, double crochet. And that's my first gap. Chain 1, yarn over to prepare. There's the next nodule, go to the left, so that's the next stitch. So skip 1, here's the next nodule, go to the left, and make a double crochet in there. That's my third or second gap, 1, 2. One more, chain 1, yarn over to prepare, skip 1, go into the next one, and make double crochet. And remember that third double crochet, 1, 2, 3, counts as the first of the 7 double crochet block. So now the next stitch is 2, next stitch is 3, next stitch is 4, next stitch is 5. You guys, it feels so weird to crochet with a hook this size again. Next stitch is 6. Next stitch is 7. But do it without splitting your yarn. 7. Remember, I like to cover the first 3. If I see 4, I know I have 7. That's my little fast, quick way to identify it. All right, and then 3 gap series again. All right, so you'll continue in this fashion, and I will meet you once we get all the way around the circle. See you there. So I'm almost back around, and I just want to pop back on once, 1 to show you how to finish this round, but also 2 to remind you to make sure that it's not twisting. Okay, so let's see, I started here, right, like this. So I'm just going to gently go all the way around, making sure that the tops are the tops and the bottoms are the bottoms, and it's not twisting. And so, see how it's starting to twist here? But I identify the problem. So if I do simply that, I'm back on track. And now everything gets flat, flush. And then I'll continue now. So remember, it's important to make sure you eliminate any twisting before you connect, or you're going to run into some serious problems. Okay, let me pull this out like that. And this, your yarn should be to the back as well. So just stick my yarn through the hole just to make sure it's to the back like I want it. Like that. Alright, take one out. It's okay. As long as it's the way that I want it, which it is, then we're good. So I had to make another double crochet because 1 came out, and this will be the 7. Cover 3, C4, bam. Alrighty. Now I'm all lined up. I'm still seeing the backs of these chains, so everything is looking good. Alright, so now it's time to start my 3 gap series. So I will chain 1, skip 1, go on to the next one, put a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, which is there, go on to the next one, put a double crochet. Okay, everything's still lined up, keep checking. And then chain 1, skip 1, I only have 1, so that's perfect. And then I'm at the chain 3, and I'll slip stitch to the 1, 2, 3, the 3rd chain up of that chain 3. Okay. And this is the first round of the opening of my sleeve. All right, and then the rest, it's pretty much the same. Okay, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've chained 3, and you guys should know the pattern by heart now, so you know the second round will start with 5 double crochets, including or counting that chain 3. So the next stitch gets 1, and that's 2. The next stitch gets 1, slice and icing off the top of the cake. 3. Next stitch 4. Next stitch 5. And this, remember, we should be crocheting into the 3rd double crochet from the edge of the block below. So 1, 2, 3. It works. Now we start our gap series, our 3 gap series. Chain 1, skip 1, go on to the next one. Chain 1, skip 1, go on to the next one. And just like that, we have our staggered 3 gaps. They're going to the right. And now we will begin our next 7 double crochet blocks. So that's 2. This is 3. And so on and so forth. So in my tutorial using the regular yarn, or what will be my tutorial, I crochet 10 of these rounds, okay, to get the depth that I wanted for my sleeve. And that's completely up to you, however deep you want, however long you want to make your sleeves. If you wanted to make it, you know, really long, then obviously you would do a lot of these rounds. But at some point, you're going to start a different pattern, okay? So you're going to see the sleeve that I do. I'm going to do 10 of these rounds, and then starting with that 11th round, I'm going to do something different. And I'll do a couple more of these rounds just to show you, to give it a little bit more height, and then I'll show you what to do next, okay? So stay tuned. I ended up doing 7 rounds because I wanted to actually look like a sleeve so you have a good idea. And now we've arrived at that section, that part of the pattern where it's different. So we're no longer going to be working in rounds. We're going to technically be working in rows. And we're going to decrease 3 together on each end until we get to a point. So we're going to just continue with decreased rows until we get to that point. And you'll see what I mean. So, oh yeah, one more thing. Remember, using this smaller thread or yarn that uses this size crochet hook, in mine I did 10 rounds, just to give you an idea. But of course, that's completely up to you. You'll make it however long you want your sleeve to be. All right, so now I chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I turn my work. Remember, when we decrease 3 together, double crochet 3 together, that chain 3 that we make at the beginning counts as one of the double crochets that's a part of that double crochet 3 together, right? So that's 1. So imagine we've made a double crochet and now we're pausing, so pause. Then we go into the next stitch, which is the chain 1 space, start a double crochet, pause. And now we need that 3rd one, which will be in the double crochet there. So yarn over, slice the icing on top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, pause, and now yarn over, go through all 3. And we've decreased, see the slant. Now this is just the same, we're analyzing our pattern. These gaps are going in that direction, so I know I need one over there. So I have my game plan and I will begin. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, next stitch, double crochet. All right, and the gaps continue to the left. Now, remember that 3rd double crochet counts as the first of the 7 double crochet blocks. So this next stitch was 2, 3, next stitch is 4, next stitch is 5. Remember, just like earlier in this series, 6 always comes in that chain 1 space, and then 7 is the next double crochet over. Cover 3, C4, we have 7, and now we start the next 3 gap series. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. That's 1, next stitch is 2, next stitch is 3, next stitch is 4, next stitch is 5, 6 is always in the chain 1 space, 6, and then 7. If I'm moving too fast, you guys can slow it down, but I'm sure you guys already know how this works because we've been doing it all along. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, that's the first gap, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, that's the second gap, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 1, skip 1, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, one more gap, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. As you get closer to the edge, you want to kind of slow down if you're moving as fast as me, and make sure that you reserve those final 3 stitches so that you can decrease. So I did my 1, 2, 3 gap series, and then I see from here that's the last stitch, 1, 2, 3. So now over these final 3 stitches, that's where I'm going to make my double crochet 3 together. So I'll start a double crochet, pause, start another one in the next stitch, pause, start another one in the next stitch, the final stitch, pause, 4 loops, yarn over, go through all 4 loops, I think it was. All right, now I'm gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn my work, okay? And what you're gonna notice is this V that goes like that. This is the beginning of that row, and this is the end of the row. And now we're starting another beginning. And remember, we're just gonna continue decreasing on each side. So let me show you one more time how this goes. Remember, for this DC 3 together, everything that's to the right of the crochet hook, that goes with that chain 3, okay? So this right here is the next stitch, and then that chain 1 space is the one thereafter. So these are our 3 stitches. 1, basically, which is taken care of by that, 2, and then 3. And we're gonna decrease 3 together over all that. So we have our 1, we are pausing. Next stitch is the double crochet, 2, pause, and then third stitch, chain 1 space, 3, pause, and then yarn over, go through all 3, and we've decreased, okay? And then we will just continue our pattern. So we'll figure out, okay, what do we need to do? Well, the gaps are going in that direction, okay? So I know that I need a gap there, right? And that'll be the last one in this row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and put a double crochet, and then chain 1, skip 1, and put a double crochet, because when I look at it, normally there would be a gap, gap, and gap, right? But it's been truncated. So technically, since we have 3 gaps there and they're moving to the right, I should have 2 here, but as I said, it was truncated. So we only have 1 as a result. And so now we just continue our regular pattern. So 1, this is 2, next stitch is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And when we go in this direction, remember the 7th double crochet should be in the 1, 2, 3, third stitch from the edge of the block below, and then we start our 3 gap series again, okay? So I'm going to continue like this, and then I'll check back in on the other side just to make sure you got it. And then I'm going to continue decreasing until I get down to not quite a singularity, but a point, basically, okay? I'll see you in a few seconds. All right, I am at the other edge now. And remember, as you get closer, you want to make sure you know what your last 3 stitches are, so you know over which final 3 stitches you're going to decrease 3 together. So, okay, I know all of that is a DC 3 together, so that's 1. Then the next stitch is the chain 1 space, that's 2, and this double crochet right there is 3. So those are my final 3 stitches. Right now, I'm in the middle of creating this 3 gap series. So 1, 2, and then I need to create another gap. So I can create that 3rd gap and start my DC 3 together all at the same time. So watch, I've chained 1 already. I've yarned over to prepare, I've skipped 1, and I'm going to go in here, and then I will start a double crochet, pause. And then I go in the chain 1 space, start a double crochet, pause. And then I go in the final stitch, which is that DC 3 together, slice the icing on the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, pause. Now I have my 4 loops, and I yarn over and go through all 4. Okay? And as I said, this is what's going to happen. This V is going to increase like that. The snap will continue. And as I said, you just continue doing this until we get to a point. So 1, 2, 3. Even before I turn my work, I want to remind you that that chain 3 counts for all of that. So this chain 1 space is the next stitch when we turn our work. And we're always decreasing over 3 together. So we've started our first double crochet where we pause. That's the chain 3. Second one is the chain 1 space, pause. Third one is the double crochet, pause. Yarn over, go through 3, and the slat continues. Okay? And then, yeah, it's just more of the same. Seeing the direction of your gaps or your blocks and adjusting to the pattern where you're at along it. Okay? So I'm going to continue doing this back and forth, back and forth. You're going to notice that each row is going to get progressively shorter because you're decreasing on each end. And then I will show you what it looks like once I get to my point, and then that's where we will stop, because you have 2 of these to make for your shirt, and we'll be connecting them in next week's video. All right, check back in one more time and then we'll be done. So we are making great progress, and I'm down to my last row, and just wanted to show you what it looks like. You might get confused. You know, I try to anticipate your questions and address them as I go. So in the penultimate row, I basically had a DC 3 together, and then I followed the pattern. So chain 1, skip 1, and then double crochet, and then I ended with a DC 3 together. So basically there are 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So I chain 3, and I'm going to turn my work for this final row, and I need to DC 3 together. So we know the chain 3 counts for all of that, and then that chain 3 that we just made is basically the first double crochet of our DC 3 together. So the next stitch I'll start a double crochet, that's 2, and then there's a chain 1 space there, so that'll be 3, right? But since I have this 4th stitch, there's really nothing to do with it but to add it. So instead of DCing 3 together for this final row, I'm going to DC 4 together. So I'll yarn over, go into that DC 3 together, slicing the icing off top of the cake, starting a double crochet, and then I'll yarn over and go through all 4 loops like that. And that's my point. Alrighty, so I'll chain 1, and then you can just cut your yarn. I guess if you want, you could leave a tail. I haven't gotten to this point on the actual shirt yet. You could leave a long tail because we're gonna connect this all together, but for this video I'm just gonna cut this short. So did I chain 1? Yeah, I chain 1, and then I'll fasten off. Oh no, I didn't chain 1. Thought I said chain 1. Anyway, maybe I did chain 1. I'm losing it, you guys. Chain 1, and then yeah, I did chain 1, and then fasten off, and that's the point. So this is what you have. It's beautiful, right? You guys know I love blue, so I'm already a fan. But the pattern, the main pattern, continues. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this. So this is that V that I was talking about. We're gonna fold it in half, like that. And this will become the sleeve, okay? So it'll attach to the shoulder, this part of the shirt, okay? And I'm gonna show you in next week's video how to connect it, all right? Next week really should be the last video because it's easy to connect these, and then if we wanna do some borders around the neck, yeah, that should go pretty quickly. But look at that pattern, it's so beautiful. So I did start one with the yarn, right? But I ran out of it, so I'm waiting on the yarn to arrive. But basically it's the same thing. If I grab this and fold it in half, then that's what I'm gonna get, okay? I'm not at that point yet though, so I have some more rows to make. But once I do get to that point, you'll notice that it's going to connect to the shirt like that, okay? So I'm going to show you next week how to connect it so that we have the sleeve. So you're going to make one of these, and then you'll make a second one the exact same way, okay? It doesn't matter that it's for the other side of the shirt. Make it the exact same way. Then next week I'll show you how to connect, and as I said, we may do a border around this. You don't have to though. Usually I like to because it kind of cleans it up a little bit. Not that it looks bad right now as is, but yeah. So in last week's video, we made the sleeves basically, okay? We should have made 2 of them because the shirt is gonna have 2 sleeves. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to attach them, and then we will make a little border around the neck area, and that'll be that'll be the completion of this series. So let's get started. Alrighty, so these two sleeves are of equal length, width, dimension, basically. And what I did was, with that final row, I left a long string on both of them so that I could have it to attach. Okay, it's like, why cut your yarn only to have to reattach it later? That just doesn't make much sense. All right, so let me clear up the area a little bit and then I'll be right back. Right now we're looking at the correct side of our shirt. Okay, meaning we're looking at the outside. This is the part that will be displayed on the outside. On the inside there, that's the inside. Okay, so we're going to turn our shirt inside out. So just going to open it up, grab the shoulders, and then pull them through like this so that the shirt is now like this. So this is still the collar area. Okay, this is still the back and the neck, and here are my sides. Now I'm going to take one of the sleeves, and with the sleeve I am still on the correct side. So I'm still displaying the correct side, and you're going to understand why. So I want to just kind of line it up like this. Okay, I want this corner, this point here. This is like the base where we first started to create that V, right? Let me zoom in a little bit. When we started our decrease rows there, we're going to start right in that corner. And we want to line that up right here with this corner. So what I'm going to do is, zoom back out now. I am going to use this stitch marker that's in that corner, and I'm going to connect it to this piece. So I'm going to take out the stitch marker, and I'm going to put it off to the side for a moment. So I want you to see that this corner will line up with that, and this one will line up with that. But what I'm going to do, because you might be wondering, why is this the inside out? Like, why is this piece inside out and this piece normal? It's because once I've lined this up there and this up there, then what I'm going to do is fold this way so that the part where your arm will be coming out, that's going to be going into the shirt, and we're going to stick it in there. I know, it's like, what? It'll make it much easier to sew together. So I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm just pulling this point to this point up here. Let me zoom in again. We'll do it one point at a time. So this right here, that line is where I connected the two shoulders, and I want to pull it so that the point of this sleeve is there. So I'm going to take out this stitch marker now because I don't need it. Well, I could leave it there, but I'm taking it out temporarily so that I can now connect it with this point here. So just go in there like that and go through some stitches. So this is secure there, and then we're going to line it up, right? Okay, now let's go down to this point. So once again, this is where the V started. Remember, the stitch marker was here. So we want to take the other stitch marker. We can go in that middle stitch there. You don't have to be exact, just try to line up the points. So that's the middle section of the main shirt. And now for the sleeve, we connect it to that middle point as well there. All right, now let me zoom out. So what you end up having is the points lined up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to connect the sleeve to the main shirt all the way around. And the stitch markers at that point and at that point help to keep everything lined up so that, you know, you don't get accidental bunching and stuff in certain areas. Okay? All right, so my yarn is up here, so that's where I'm going to start. So point down here, point up here. Yarn is on the sleeve, and I want it such that I pull the yarn from there over here to this side, right? Because the yarn comes from the back when you're crocheting. And because it's over there, it's starting over there, and I need to pull it over here, then I'm going to be working that way. So I find the point, I go on where I see the yarn, and just get in where you can. Let me zoom in. All right, so I'm just gonna go into the top of a stitch. Here's my yarn, so I'll go over there, slice the icing off top of the cake, yarn over, pull through like that, and then chain one. And now it's secured. And now I'm just gonna slip stitch my way all the way around, connecting the sleeve to the shirt. So let's pull out this stitch marker now because it's connected. And then I just go into the next stitch and on both sides, yarn over, pull all the way through like that. Okay, and I keep it lined up. So first I go through a stitch in the shirt, then I go through a corresponding stitch along the sleeve, on the side of the sleeve, yarn over, and then pull all the way through to slip stitch. I'm just going to do this all around that opening where the sleeve and shirt meet. Okay, so it's just a slip stitch, and you see I have to go all the way down. I'll get to the other point where the other stitch marker is. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'll do this for both sides. So I'll show you a couple more. Just go in there wherever you can get in. Okay, so for instance, right here, it's kind of like that's, you can either split or go in between these two stitches, that and that, or you can just try to go through that final stitch, just grabbing a piece of it and then doing the same thing on the other side to slip stitch like that. Okay, so wherever you can get in, just be sure that it's not bunching up. Like, you don't want this to happen, or let's say the back, because see how that's like bunched up back there. So make sure you keep it lined up like that, and then you just go on where you can and slip stitch. And I find what works best for me is just line them up, and then all I have to do is insert my crochet hook in there. Everything is lined up as it should, so I just insert my crochet hook, yarn over, and then pull through. It's lined up, yarn over, pull through like that. Okay, so continue in this fashion all the way around, and I'll meet you once we get back around to where we started. Have fun. I'm now at the other point. I just want to pop back on to show you, and I've connected right at it. So I'm going to take out this stitch marker now because it's kind of in the way, but it has served its purpose. And now I'm just going to continue connecting the shirt to the sleeve, or the sleeve to the shirt, however you want to look at it. Make sure you get stitches on both pieces, okay? So you see, this side is all connected, and from the top, from the shoulder all the way down, nicely connected. And now we have this side to connect. I'll meet you there. Another tip that I wanted to mention is don't get so focused on the main area where you're slip stitching. Obviously you want to focus on that because you're trying to make sure you're going into stitches on both sides, like stitches that are part of the shirt and stitches that are a part of the sleeve, right? To make your slip stitch. Yes, you should be focusing on that. But if you have too narrow of a focus that's maintained in a narrow fashion, you'll miss out on the fact that later on down the line, there's buckling. So you want to make sure you take moments periodically to kind of adjust, make the adjustments so that you don't end up buckling. So just kind of spread it out so that it actually like fits the way you want it to fit. So readjust so that everything lines up, basically. And by the way, something that you can do is put in stitch markers periodically just to make sure that everything lines up the way you want to. And so then I'll slip stitch to there, and then if I need to, I can take out the stitch marker and put it up here to make sure there's no buckling up there. So there are multiple ways to stay on track. One is just a monitor. You could also use stitch markers, but just make sure that everything is lined up and there's no buckling in the end, okay? So I'm almost back around, and this is all the all the yarn that I have left with this tail that I left for me. So I approximated pretty well, but I am kind of cutting it close. So I'm just continuing to slip stitch these remaining few stitches. And then I'm just going to go in with this final slip stitch, and I'm going to create a knot. So I went through both sides. Now I'm going to yarn over and then pull through to slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain one, so short, and then pull through, and that'll create a knot. Okay, so now this is all connected on this side, the sleeve. Alrighty. Beautiful, right? So you might have been wondering why I was displaying the outside of the sleeve, or the correct side of the sleeve, and pairing it with the shirt being inside out, but it's because I wanted to connect it that way. So if I were to pull this sleeve out now, what would come out is the wrong side. So now it's wrong side sleeve with wrong side shirt. So it works out, okay? So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to show you one more time just in case you're confused. So we have wrong side shirt. Or you may not be confused, but it just may benefit you to see it again. So wrong side shirt. This is the inside of the shirt, the part that will touch the skin, right? So we grab the sleeve, and we have the correct side of the sleeve, okay? This is the part that is on the outside. This is the part that if someone were to touch you, they would touch this. They wouldn't touch the inside, so outside of the shirt. And we want to line up the points. So we want to line up this point, those 2 points, and these 2 points. But what we're going to do, and it may look like it's not going to fit, but once you stretch it out, it will work. So now that we have this way, then basically we're going to turn it like that so that the part where your hand and arm are coming out, that's going inside the shirt. So we'll open up the gap, and then we'll just pull that in. And we're still looking at, this is the outside of the shirt, right? So outside, inside. And then once we get that pulled in, we're gonna line up this bottom point where that V started with that, and we'll attach the stitch marker there, and then we'll line up where this stitch marker is, that point, with the end of the shoulder there, and attach it there. And then just sew it all together. Okay, I'll meet you once I get this connected. All right, so I have completed both sleeves. However, I had a sneaking suspicion that I would prefer doing it using the darning weaving tapestry needle method to connect. Okay, so let me show you. So this side I did with the crochet hook with slip stitches, and it's just a much tighter, less flat, less smooth, less seamless sort of end result, and it's fine. I feel like for women who, you know, want like a blouse with these like ruffles, that would be nice, but I wanted something that's more like flat, more like made for a dude. So I did this side. I went back and did this side with the slip stitch, or not the slip stitch method, but the darning weaving tapestry needle. So I'm just gonna quickly undo this one and show you how to do it that way, just in case you want to do it that way. Okay. All right, so I have the sleeve disconnected. It's inserted into the shirt just like before. And basically I'm going to take my strand that's already attached to my sleeve, this strand that I left when I created the sleeve, when I finished it off. I'm just going to feed that through the darning weaving tapestry needle. Okay, I'll leave kind of a long tail. And by the way, the reason I leave kind of a long tail is so that it doesn't slide out easily as I'm working the yarn through the stitches. So here it is there. Still attached obviously to the sleeve. Okay, right there where my index finger is lifting it. And so I'm just gonna take the darning weaving tapestry needle that has also the yarn, and then go into the center like that, and go back over. And then I'm just gonna pull it, and basically it's gonna make a loop on top. Okay, and then I'm just going to do this all the way around the sleeve, connecting it to the shirt. I'm not pulling tight. I'm still making sure that things are lined up as I want them to be, but it's gonna make for a much smoother, seamless, flatter connection. Okay, like I said, if you want that sort of like ruffly, blousy sort of look, especially if you maybe you're a lady who likes that sort of I don't know, that embellished look, that's what I'll call it, then feel free to use the single crochet method or the slip stitch method. But like I said, this is for a dude, so I want it to be flat. I don't need all the embellishments. So I'm just going in and going over it and pulling. So just go over through to the other side and then just pull it back over like this. Okay, not pulling it super tight so it stays nice and flat. All right, I'll check back in once I finish this sleeve. Alrighty, now that I have both sleeves attached the way I want them to be attached, now I'm just gonna do maybe a round of or two of single crochet just to kind of clean up that area. So I don't need these stitch markers that are here in the front anymore, so I can take those out. And I always think about how I want my stitches to be displayed, meaning do I want them to be front facing or back facing? And you know, for something like a shirt, I want to see the fronts of the stitches basically. So I always think it's a good idea to start it in the back. So I'm going to turn this around like this, and then this is the back. You can just start anywhere, but you can choose the middle point. And then basically you are going to attach your yarn. So just hook it on, pull it through like that, and then tie a couple of knots. 1, 2, insert your crochet hook back into that same stitch, yarn over, and then since we're making single crochets, just chain 1. Okay, and now since we're going to be crocheting in that direction, we're going to be seeing the fronts of the stitches, the fronts of the single crochets. So we'll go into the next stitch, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and we're just going to make a single crochet. And then next stitch, single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet. And you're going to do this all the way around. By the way, you can crochet over this tail, or you can leave it hanging down and it can serve as the tag. So whatever you want. So I'll show you once I get one round done. By the way, in the chain 1 spaces, just go into the chain 1 space and make a single crochet. We don't want to accidentally decrease, so make sure you're putting a single crochet in every double crochet and chain 1 space around. Okay, I'll see you once we get back here. By the way, as we start to get along to crochet along the sides of the stitches, just crochet how many ever single crochet you think it needs to make up that space. So this isn't exact, but like this is a double crochet, so I'm going to give it 2 single crochet just to make sure that it doesn't bunch up. Okay, so whatever you feel, you can try, and then if it starts to bunch, you know you need more stitches. But see how it's staying flat, so that's what you want. All right, I have one more stitch. I'm gonna make a single crochet in that first stitch where I attached the yarn. I'm gonna chain 1, okay, and then I'm gonna slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round, and I'm only gonna do one round. So chain 1, cut my yarn, and then fasten off. Okay, and then I'll turn my work around, and you guys know I like to pull the tail end so that it kind of serves as my tag. Yes, I already have the other strand there, but I'm going to pull this one in as well, and then I like to chain 1, and that causes it to turn to the inside. Okay, so all the extras I can cut those down where 2 or more are gathered. I like to tie a couple of knots. So 1, 2, okay. Wherever I could, I crocheted over tails while I was making this border around the neck. As I said, you can make more than one border if you want, but I don't want it to be too tight. And then yeah, I'm gonna cut that down and then cut this one down as well, because I don't need to tag that long. And now that's how it looks. Okay, so yes, this is the mesh crochet top, the crochet mesh top, you guys. And yes, it is two-toned. It was unintentional, but it works because I didn't know how many balls I was going to need, the yardage or anything. So I just bought them, and they were probably coming from different lots, and you know, you get slightly different colors, but it actually still works out. It's kind of like an ombre effect with this. Okay. All right. I know this was kind of a long series. What is this, video 5 or 6? I can't remember. I've lost count. But anyway, we finally finished it. By the way, what you did here, you can also do it around the sleeves and also around the bottom if you want. I don't think it needs it. Still have a few tails I need to cut down. But yeah, this is it. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this and learned a lot. I know I have. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful handmade gift to give someone that you care about. Okay. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. You know, I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.